last time on Trinity Isle.
Baldia will sort of see what's going on, and he will say to Kretash, I'm gonna go help the injured. If you ever come across a Goliath with a flaming red beard, you let me know. Kretash, in the corner of your room, you see Cassiopeia sit up with a jolt.
Where is the
Ahead of you.
The sound
Ahead of
coming
you.
from the fucking village! Is it from the fucking village?
Bow before Stroud von Zarovich. Later that night, Kretash came into the office, ripped up every piece of paper on my desk, and set it all ablaze, along with his beloved Bolmir. Tell your brother I say hi when you see him, and the door will close.
What?
He will lift his faceplate, and you will see the face of Master Toe, sat on a horse in front of you.
You?
How are you still alive?
Oh, hey, how's it going? Hey, welcome. No. We just wanted to trick you at the beginning of the return. I mean, well, Barinade's grown a beard and gotten more attractive, and Malachi's just gone to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if
that
that
Malachi,
microphone
he
works,
really
got like
let
a
himself
mute
go.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you guys want to go back?
Well, see, no, the thing is, we have to, because we've got to get back to our character sheets and everything.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, we literally planned this whilst you were deafened.
Look, I just want to say I entirely blame Shadow. He planned and orchestrated the entire thing. So
this
somebody
is
needs to
entirely
definitely
Shadow's
Shadow.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely Shadow. Definitely not the other person.
Wow, I could
This
say
is
so
a
much about
really nice
Cassiopeia
chair.
if I wanted to. I just realized.
This is great because no one can hear you but can hear us. So for those of you that are new here, Kretash is not the person in the Kretash box.
There we go. They can hear me now.
And Cassiopeia is
We'll quickly spot back.
Alright,
By
you
the
do
way,
that.
Baronade, you
Roll
left your
baby
phone behind.
cards.
Actually, no, I think I left my phone behind as well.
Okay, I'm throwing out your used tissues, okay? I don't mind.
Dude, leave my rubbish. I will get to my I have to. I'm going to rant about this. This dude obsessively cleans everything. He will clean my laundry before I get a chance to. It's like he's just so obsessive about it.
I don't see what the problem is.
No, don't get me wrong. It's a lovely. We keep a clean, lovely home. It's amazingly clean. But it's so frustrating. Just let me get to my
Is it because
things.
is it because he's not wearing the maid outfit while he does it?
Oh my god! Hi, Malachi.
Oh,
All right,
fucking hell.
I'm out of here.
Yes, the maid outfit, please. Do it. That would be better.
God, what am I gonna do with the opening? Like, what the fuck do I do? Because my mic wasn't picking up. These two have swapped. Why was that in focus? Hi guys, welcome back to Trinity Isle season 2.
Basically, Zephyr, you mute this part and you do a voiceover, and you do 2 minutes before we started.
Oh my god, I might honestly
These
we'll put it
bitches.
we'll put it in the bloopers reel because I've got the entire break from the last session. Like, where we were talking about, like, I've got that saved, so we could do a bloopers reel at the end of the season. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Season 2 of Trinity Isle, Episode 21. Been a little bit. Hello, Kia. It's been a little bit. How we all doing? You know, we've all changed locations, and fucking some of us have changed profession. Fucking Jesus Christ. Anyway, welcome back. It's been... Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
long hair last.
I'm
Trinity
I,
Isle.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure in
Yeah.
every Trinity Isle session you are either in a different location or have a different hairstyle.
Mhm.
But
Actually, true. I'm in a new location too.
yeah,
And so is
yeah,
Malachi.
yeah.
Mhm.
But
You're in the same location.
but we're back, and we're back for 2 weeks on the trot. So we're gonna catch up on the crew. We're gonna get all going, and it's lovely. But before we do any of that, before we continue the chaos that is this unholy adventure, I think we should do a quick rundown of the cast. So, going from top left, we have Takumi Inui, the human fighter, played by Shadowblade312.
Hello, that is I. Thank you for joining us. It's lovely to be back.
We have Kretash
Our-
the Cold, our Dark Elf Wizard, played by Malachi __ Gaming.
Hello, that is me, and not the gentleman below me.
We have Seelia, the half Sun Elf Bard, played by the Trinity Isle artist DelphiniumRai.
Hello, hello.
We have Wa Dastings, the human paladin warlock, played by the TheMrWa.
Hi there. I'm pleased to be here as your resident Peggle speedrunner.
And last but never least, we have Cassiopeia, the Aarakocra Druid Tree Whisperer, played by the TheBarinade.
That is me.
Yes.
Hello, and not the gentleman above me.
And I, of course, am your below average DM, CJ Zephyr, because we haven't had a session for 2 months. And before we start,
I mean that's partially my fault, to be fair.
it's just entirely your fault, but I was going to try and take the blame for it, so...
No. I'll take the blame. It's fine. You've done
Yeah.
good. You are above average.
But
And it's the first time I've not made a joke about that.
But before we get started, I think me and Shadow would both like to give a quick shout out and thank you to Yumazuro, who gave Shadow a very lovely birthday present in some brand new Takumi art, which is now all over the place. New tokens, new
Indeed.
character sheet, and yeah, he's looking just as handsome as ever.
Thank you.
But without
love the
further
art.
ado, we need a recap. We definitely need a recap because it has been
Remember who I am.
a very long time. So, Mr. Malachi, would you do us the honors, good sir?
I will, and I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it I still don't remember. Because the episode was released yesterday and I haven't gotten through it all. But starting out, we were introduced to, or reintroduced to, an old friend in Calcifer. He has returned and become a part of our lovely little band of miscreants. Shadow and Takumi and Seelia. Sorry, I've got to remember character names now. God damn it. Takumi and Seelia went off into the forest, looking at some of the lovely crystals that were around, and Takumi may have, we'll say, corrupted one of them, quite horrifically. Later on, we saw Kretash doing a few little oddities and experiments with the crystals. What else happened? I really don't remember like this whole second half of the episode.
It's alright,
What
neither
else
do I. I
happened?
wasn't there.
What else
There was some
happened?
night.
There
There were
was-
some experiments throughout the night, and
There were experiments throughout the night.
That was the main
Kretash
bulk of
also
it.
had a bit of a we'll say a vision. And that's as far into that as I'll go.
I think the only other things
think
of note, and obviously it's been a while, we'll help Malachi out with this. Wire is off on his own little journey. Takumi has had a word with Saurath and had a conversation
Yeah.
about the corrupted weave. And
Yes.
some of you have entered the paradox, whilst others have been left behind. But, ladies and gentlemen, we will get to those in just a moment, because I would like everybody except Wa to deafen, and I will message you when you can undeafen.
Right off the bat, huh?
Straight off the bat, I'm afraid. All right.
Hello there.
Hello, hello. So, Wild Hastings, you are taken. You are taken by this individual, young, clean-shaven, a cloak around him, sort of blue with stars glittering down it, and a symbol on his chest, half white, half black, in a circle formation. And the moment you touch his hand, you are whisked away. You drift through this sort of feeling of void, not too dissimilar from entering the paradox from the time that you did enter, all the way back after the heritage site attack. But this time you are not welcomed by the singing of a tavern and the smell of grog and alcohol in the air. You are met with the smell of must and metal and iron. You hear the clanging of chains and in the distance an echoey chant. And then you look down at your hands and you realize that they are not your hands. They are green with sort of sharp pointed nails. You're in a toga made of rags. And in front of you lays this kind of circle, black steel iron, runes around the edge. And you sort of get this pat on your left shoulder, and you're told by this goblin with a pointed nose and pointy ears, "You'd better get that up to the ritual in the arena, or they'll have our heads, you know." In the corner of the room, you see the individual who took you, the young apothecary. And in your mind, you hear his voice, though he does not say anything. You're watching history. Play along. Nothing you can do will change what happens. Remember that. This is for your safety. And then you'll get
I'll
this...
get him up there as soon as I can.
Good man. And when this is all done, you and me, we're getting out of here. And then he will sort of scarper off out of the cage.
All right. So he said that I had to take these up to the arena.
Yes, this sort of black disc that looks kind of familiar to you.
So obviously I'll take the disc.
Mm-hmm.
How big is it?
It's about the size of your sort of small palm.
Okay. I'd like to inspect it.
Make me an intelligence check.
Yeah, a second.
Take your time.
That would be a 15.
Upon inspecting the disc, you realize what it is. It is the amulet that you have seen Dallasman wear both in your visions and in person, though the runes around the edge do not glow.
So I'm going to look at the apothecary.
He is no longer there. You are alone in your cage. The door is open. The chanting echoing still through the stone halls of a black jail.
Okay, so if I go out of the cage, what are my options?
There's other cages where you can see goblins locked up and chained, and those who aren't locked up are cleaning the area.
Okay.
There's only one way out, and it is up these black stone steps to a wooden door with 2 bars over the window.
Okay. Are there any weapons or tools?
There are brooms. Nothing
Okay.
more.
Can I ascertain what this disc is made of?
At your best guess, a sort of steel mixed with something else. It's heavier
Okay,
than
I
you,
will-
but it feels heavier than it should. Feels about the weight
I
of a
will-
great sword, which to your new body is even heavier.
I will follow the path heading up towards the one way.
You walk up the steps, and you sort of, the door is opened by a dwarf, sort of black beard curled into a braid. Ah, you finished making it then, have ya?
Nodding.
Take it up to King Drogar. He'll finish the ritual.
Okay, so as I've gone up and the door's opened, where would I be going? Or where am I expected to go?
You are pointed down a hallway which is dotted on either side by even more cages. These ones sort of half circles, like arches in the stone, and then just bars as far as the eye can see for about 100 feet. And again,
Is there anything the other way?
the other way is the way you came from. You assume from your knowledge as a military man and a man of combat, this is where they keep competitors for the arena.
Yes, so I'd like to also be on the lookout for ventilation shafts, anywhere where airflow can get in and out.
Each cell has got a single barred window, and it is from those windows that you hear the chanting. And it's not a language
They look like
you
I could
understand.
squeeze through them.
You potentially could, but there's about 20 dwarven guards standing in this hallway, as though a king was walking through. They are at ready. They are at salute. And outside you hear this chanting, and from your studies you know it is dwarvish, though you don't know what they say.
Okay, I will keep walking.
You walk through this hallway. The goblins look at you in fear, but not at you, what you hold in your hands. You go up the steps, and there's this portcullis that slowly raises up. You exit into this massive arena with black sand, 4 pillars in the center, and around you, this massive crowd of dwarven soldiers chanting and chanting and chanting, banging the handles of their weapons, their warhammers and axes on the ground again and again and again. You walk to the center of the arena where you see 5 individuals, 4 in robes, 1 with a crown upon his head, his hand glowing purple with a familiar looking energy. And it is with that hand he will reach for the disc.
Now, is that purple energy as in Takumi, or purple energy as
Yes.
in...
Yes. Hand
so now I'm
me the
out here.
disc.
Okay, so now I'm
Slay.
out here. What else can I see? Like, if I'm in the arena, is there crowds? Is there...
The sort of where the crowd would sit, the audience is all soldiers. And they're on their knees chanting, banging over and over. One word sticks in your mind. One word that is not dwarven, you assume it is a name. Resniloth. Resniloth. Resniloth.
Is there any other way out of the arena?
The only ways out are guarded heavily. 10 dwarves with shields larger than them at the 2 stairways that would lead to, one leading to what you assume would be an exit through the audience, one leading to this sort of grandstand where a king would sit.
Okay, and the other four around are also on their knees?
No. Their hands are stretched out. They're about a foot taller than you are. and they're just sort of muttering underneath their breath.
Eyes closed?
You cannot see under the hood. You cannot tell.
Any
the
discernible weapons?
Not outside of the cloak. But the only way you can tell they're muttering is because you can see the shaking in their beard. Do as commanded, slave of Vashkuz.
See, now, if I know bad guy, and I'm saying this in my head, if I know bad guys, this guy's not getting out of here either way, whether it's memory or not. If it's something that's already happened, cannot be done, cannot be changed. Let's just make it more interesting. I'm gonna how thin is the disc?
About half an inch.
I am not gonna put it into his hand, I'm gonna fling it at his face.
Alright, roll to attack. You cannot use your stat. It's a straight roll. Because you are not Wild Hastings. Or
That is
at
an
least
18.
Okay. Yeah, it hits him in the face, and you hear the crunching of breaking bone. And he sort of grabs his face as blood drips from his nose. Grab the insolent wretch! And immediately, without a chance to retaliate in any way, you are tackled by about 5 or 6 dwarves in heavy armor.
I spit on them.
As you do, they pin you down by putting a hand on your throat. And another one comes over, and with a mighty swing and the sound of metal cutting the air, you look to your left as your arm is cut off. Drag him back to the cells as we complete the ritual. So Dakin will return. And it will be I who returns him to show my loyalty to the cause. You are slowly dragged through the black sand, your blood trickling in a trail looking like a snake. But as he takes the discs and raises it to the sky, sort of like, you know, the Tron ideology, like the sort of Tron stance, you know, feet firmly planted on the ground, disc held up directly to the sky. You look, and you blink, and his face, once proud and strong, struck with fear as a blade protrudes from his neck. That destiny is not yours. You are not the 5. And as he drops to the ground, you see the oracle from the heritage site has slain King Droga, sorry. She grabs the disc and teleports away in a flash. And then Drogar's body begins to shake. You see his veins pulsing a bright purple. He screams in agony, begging, "Mercy, master, I have served you well!" But before he can get another word out, silence, and then a massive explosion. It erupts in the center of the arena before expanding out. Purple, black, wisp spirits, nothing you can comprehend, it's all so quick. For a moment you are engulfed in the worst pain you have ever experienced before you are left once again in the void. And you hear the voice of the young apothecary. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have showed you this. But Dualius, he will not get himself involved in the war to come. He cannot. He can never leave the paradox. He can never get involved in business outside the paradox. Use this knowledge. Remember it." And then silence. And you drift once again in a void. The blue stars and lights surrounding you. And you are alone.
I was
And
enjoying the silence. It's good to be back.
and now,
Hi.
after that endeavor, we will go to Kretash for a moment.
Oh, fuck.
No one needs to deafen or anything like that. Kretash, you've just seen the paradox disappear in the blink of an eye. What was a tavern surrounded by vines and a tree growing out of the roof is now just a desolate ruin. You know, the foundation is all that remains, and even those have been taken by time. Cultivar sits next to you, legs crossed, axe perfectly balanced across his knees, and the brisk winds of the enchanted forest brush through your icy hair. What would you like to do with your time as you wait for your companions?
I'd like to. Better double check. I'm going to sit myself down next to Calcifer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to simply begin studying the Moonstone Shard,
The non-corrupted one.
the non-corrupted one.
Okay. As you do so, you sort of look at it, and it's very similar to last night. It's this sort of clear substance with purples and blues sort of decorating the outer edges of it. And you see this milky wisp gently floating, swimming through, almost like a jellyfish within the crystal. What do you want to do with it?
I want to pour through it an insane amount of magic. Like I felt when killing the Dark Elves.
Okay.
And I want to release this amount of energy. Not anywhere in particular, but not near anything living.
And what spell do you use to siphon your energy, your portion of the weave which you have adopted as a wizard, into the crystal? Which spell do you wish to use as your catalyst for this experiment?
Dancing lights.
Okay. In which case, roll me Arcana with advantage.
With advantage. I don't know my dice out. There's one of them. Maybe 20. There we are. That is 21.
Okay, and remind both us and the audience, what does your dancing lights look like in your mind?
It's it's like these little greenish, purplish, sort of like intertwined colors swirling around inside these little balls of light.
So, it sort of to help visualize, you might say like a purple and a green light sort of swirling within a thin bubble.
Yeah.
Okay. You place one hand at the base of the crystal and one hand on your own. The crystal embedded in your hand makes contact with the moonstone, your own arcane focus. And you begin to siphon your energy through it, and you do feel that it is draining but not impossible. And you generate this magic, and you can feel, the wisp within the crystal begins to speed up. It gets faster and faster. The colors within the crystal get more vibrant. And 2 dragonflies, one green, one purple, shoot out of the point of the shard which you cut, sparkling, leaving little sort of fairy dust-like substance of their own color dance around you, fly in and out. One of them lands on Calcifer's shoulder just for a moment before darting off once again. They dance through the ruins of what once was the paradox, going between the little cracks of the foundations, going through the trees, twirling up, almost like tinsel. And they come together in this beautiful explosion of green and purple, as this sort of firework-like sparkle slowly drifts down upon the both of you. You feel yourself drained, but also mesmerized. If you're not already, you're on level 1 exhaustion, but you gain a point of inspiration. And to remind everybody who does not know, with my DM provided inspiration, you can either give yourself advantage on an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, or you can give disadvantage to someone who is doing an attack roll, saving throw, or ability check. And that can be anyone. If you're giving disadvantage to an attack, they have to be attacking you. But otherwise, with saving throws and ability checks, as long as you're in the vicinity, that is enough.
I'm glad you clarified that, because I just imagine Malachi going, well, as soon as I attack, yeah, you're going to roll with disadvantage?
Well, it's
just to screw with us.
it's the idea that if he's being attacked, he can kind of taunt his enemy with his inspiration to give it disadvantage. But say, I don't know, Cassiopeia is trying to do one of her perception checks. Kretash can now go, "Oi, Beaky, how you doing?" and give Cassiopeia disadvantage if they so choose. After this happens, Kretash, what would you like to do? Anything else?
I'd like to sit down and talk to Calcifer.
Okay.
Attempt to talk to Calcifer. Talk at Calcifer.
Okay. You will sort of look up at the sparkles that have been generated, and as they drift down to when they make contact with the ground is the moment they have finally faded out of existence. It's sort of this perfect transition from opaque to invisible. And as you sit down, he will look at you, and then look back at the sparkles as they begin to rain upon you both.
I cannot understand you, and I apologize for that. And I will learn. I will learn your language. I wish for us to be able to communicate. I have a very, very arduous task ahead of me, and I know that the others aren't going to like where we have to go. I have to find the gate of hell. I need to stop a demon from making a vile deal. But I don't like my odds in that situation alone. All this so I can beat a horrible man who's done horrible things. And unfortunately, in my crusade to do this, I've found myself doing horrible, horrible things. Just gonna sit in silence and ponder my actions.
He will look at you and raise the handle of his axe, sort of, so it's in front of your chest. Boreda.
Brother.
and he will go back to what you presume is some kind of meditation. And we will go to our trio. Each of you have entered the paradox. You have drifted through this void with nothing but blue lights to guide your way, and eventually you do make it to the tavern that you know so well. You hear the familiar sounds of people enjoying their drinks, laughing, glasses being cheersed together. And as the sound of music slowly drifts in, you will see Wa Dastings sat on a table, his eyes closed. As you get closer to
On a
him,
table or at a table?
at a table.
Okay.
As you get closer to him, you'll see his eyes are quickly darting between the sort of corners of his eyes. And the floor is open.
We see his eyes are like just jumping around as he lies there unconscious. Is that right?
Yeah, kind of like imagine how when someone is trying to keep track of 20 things at once, their eyes would be darting everywhere. That's the kind of impression you get from behind the eyelids.
I'll just softly nudge him to try to wake him up.
While this will work, you will regain consciousness.
I will regain consciousness in shock of someone suddenly touching me, and first thing I will do will be lunge. Because that's just what I would do if I was woken up when I'm not expecting to be asleep. It's natural. Not as in a punch, but just grabbing the arm.
Okay?
If when I see this arm coming at me or whoever, I will try to grab it, stop it mid motion.
It's grabbing your arm.
Yeah. So Takumi, as you're sort of lightly
okay.
shaking his
Yeah.
shoulder, Wa will
Yeah, imagine like
turn to you, grab you by the forearm, and stare you directly in the face before realizing who you are.
I won't let go, and I'll just go. Where am I?
Paradox. Dualius's tavern.
I'll release. I'll stand up and go. Ah, well, I believe we've been manipulated.
Oh well,
What do you
this will be
mean?
a. Yeah.
Where were you? You disappeared.
Ah, a dear friend of ours from an old friend, young friend, friend, not friend.
Is it the one we saw up on the roof that one day?
You know that old guy that became the young guy that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turns out the Oracle may have known
What?
more than what we were letting on to believe.
The Oracle? The one from the camp? The Heritage site? That one?
Yeah.
Wait, is this the one that I
Yeah.
stole the candle from?
No, it's a different
No.
one.
Oh, okay.
Is-
That's the hag.
I'm trying to get my bearings back. Okay,
That candle is still very much lit, by the way.
I'm still
Yeah.
carrying it.
Yep.
Figured.
Although in the paradox, its flame has become blue.
Also, Zephyr, I sent you a
So-
message.
Lovely.
Oh no. So, what about the Oracle? What happened?
You know the amulet that guy has. I'm not going to be
Dallas,
making
right?
much sense.
The
Yeah,
Goliath?
exactly. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not going to be making much sense. It was Talisman, wasn't it, Zephyr?
Yeah.
Yes.
The-
I'm not going to be making much sense because obviously I've just gone through insurmountable. Well, Zephyr knows.
He always
I'm-
knows.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Yeah.
tell you what I've been through.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Oracle has something to do with that. So did some King Droga?
Was that the king of the? I forgot the word.
King Nasher? Nasha? Is that
No.
who?
No,
Someone
it was
else.
King Droga. Definitely King
King
Droga.
Droger.
Was King Droga the king of the place that's now blown up and deserted?
Well, if he is, I was in an arena with him. Well, not me. I wasn't. Someone was. I was there, but not there, but also there.
Out of body experience.
More like an in-body experience.
In body experience.
Yeah, I was definitely in a body. There was no out-of-body experience.
But it wasn't yours.
I don't know.
Okay, so you were in an
Hmm.
arena and you were fighting King
No, no, no. Oh gosh, no, I wasn't fighting. I was a slave.
Of who?
I don't know.
Hmm.
The apothecary? That piece of shit.
Yeah.
What did he do?
What about him?
He said this is events that have already happened.
You saw
Anything
the
I do
past?
will not change the course. Well, no, because I had free will.
Hmm.
Admittedly, I didn't have much of a choice in what I was going, but I definitely had free will.
Hmm. Maybe a
The
memory.
amulet was a disc. They were chanting this name.
Intelligence check.
Resnoloff, that's it.
Good man.
No, Zephyr, I haven't forgotten anything. I'm playing into the character.
I'm just making sure.
Everyone was chanting it.
Resnoloff.
Soldiers, mostly dwarves. Like, the arena, it was just filled with like, just black sand everywhere, and it was. I'm then gonna start patting up my left arm.
It's still very much there.
Huh. Well,
Did the memory you lose their arm?
huh? What? No, oh, no. Don't worry about that. Sildarken. Resnoloff.
What?
King Droga.
What did Sildarken have to do with that?
He just has to do with anything and everything.
Now I'm gonna do an
doesn't he?
intelligence check.
Okay.
That is a dirty 20.
Okay.
Ooh.
So,
Ooh.
from what you... Obviously, without saying too much, you can infer that the ritual you witnessed was to bring Resniloth back in service of Sildarken.
That was it. This person, Resnoloff, who I don't know, was going to be brought back in a ritual using this disc that looks like the amulet that. Guys, help me out here. The amulet.
Talisman?
Who has it? Talisman.
Talisman.
That's it. Talisman has an amulet made from a disc that was meant to be used in a ritual by King Droga, who was trying to get Resnoloff back as an agent for Sildarken. There we go. And I threw the disc at King Droga's face. Droga died, and the Oracle, because the Oracle stole the disc. The Oracle had the disc. Where would the disc have gone from the Oracle? Oh.
Could it still be where we left her? Did she have it on when?
Well, because we know Talisman has that disc, because Talisman has the
Oh.
amulet.
Okay.
So how did it get to Talisman?
I mean, wait. So the Oracle stole it,
The Oracle stole it to stop the ritual.
and then Talisman had
Said-
her,
said-
so that's how
said-
we got it, maybe.
said, it is not your prophecy to fulfill, it is the prophecy of the five. Something like that, anyway. We're the five. Wait, are we?
We have yet
Probably.
to find out.
So, Talisman got But the Oracle just appeared out of nowhere. So, why would the Oracle have been captured in the first place?
I guess she didn't see that coming. Or maybe it didn't, so it was inevitable. Who knows?
Or she was probably an asset they didn't want anyone else to make use of.
Where has a load of Dwarven guards?
What?
Dwarven guards. A lot of them.
Where?
You might have seen something before the like desolation of that part of the map. The map.
The
Trinity Isle
Badlands?
happened. Yeah. Maybe the memory was from before the Badlands were bad.
Can I do a history from? We've heard about King Drogo
Yeah.
before, haven't we?
Not the name specifically, but from the information you've gathered, you would be able to discern it if you had the right knowledge. So yes, I'll let you do a history check, and then I will fill in the blanks.
That is a 16.
That'll clear it. So, from what you were able to discern from both the ritual you've witnessed and prior knowledge, Vashkuz was once a dwarven city before it was a victim to an event known as the cataclysm. The cataclysm completely eradicated Vashkuz and the dwarven kingdom to the east, creating the Badlands and physically rupturing the island so much that it created an earthquake and separated it from the mainland. And it has been a desolate wasteland ever since. The cause of the
How long ago was
explosion,
that?
it's believed to be at least 1,000 years ago, but everybody has told you a different date.
Okay.
The
And the cause of
reason-
the explosion, sorry?
That is not known by you. You do not have the necessary knowledge to discern what caused the explosion or...
I thought I did have the knowledge now.
You've been told you have knowledge. You don't... Obviously, from what you've seen...
I can from what I've seen, I can assume.
You can assume what caused the explosion. Yes. The specific details of that are unclear, but the last thing from your vision was Drogar being killed and an explosion erupting from his body.
That, I'm going to take a few steps back away from Takumi. I had the realization.
Aren't you sitting down?
No, I've stood up whilst I was explaining.
Okay.
Even if he was sat down, you can get up and take a few
Yeah,
steps
I'd
back.
get up. I would have assumed that whilst I'm trying to gather my thoughts and recollect everything that's happened, I'm going to be pacing.
Okay.
Okay. The party sees as Wa takes a visible step back from Takumi.
I'll just let out a light sigh, roll my eyes, look to the side, up to the bar. Do I see Dualius over there?
Dualius is currently having a conversation with somebody.
Oh.
Alright. I will, I'll just take a seat at our nearest table for now.
Is it like an actual person we can see?
He's having a conversation with somebody.
Who is he talking to?
Can we see who it like? Can
Would
you
you like to
describe
go?
them
Yeah.
They're wearing a from the back. You can't identify them.
I'll walk up. I need to get away from Takumi, so.
As you
I
walk up
mean,
to
I
the
would-
bar. As you walk up to the bar, you stand next to this individual who looks over you. Ah, you also made the list, I see. Wild Hastings, was it? And as you look to the side, you see that you are standing next to Standing Lord Dordomir. Standing Lord of Trinity of Gaidanus, whilst Lady Deathbane is away.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that would be correct. Welcome, or will you welcome me? Sorry, I'm a little bit fuzzy at the moment. Different
Well.
body experience and all. We've all been there.
Some more than others, and he'll give you a little wink. And he'll sort of point to your temple. Like, his temple, but as in gesturing.
The whole.
Well, I don't come here very often. I'm not given the opportunity quite as much as others. But you'll be happy to know that the heritage site has been secured and I'm on my way back to Gaidanus.
Thank you. That's good to know.
That mirror is quite the sight.
It is, especially if you can see your reflection in it.
Leave it for the bard, Mr. Short Temper. And
Of course.
although I must say, the ogre was a nice surprise. But thanks to your warning, we were able to deal with it.
I mean, the ogre
What?
seemed pretty harmless, providing it got hook.
Well, what do you think an ogre in an empty cave is going to use for ingredients when 5 succulent meals show up on its doorstep?
Oh, well, of course. So how did you deal with said ogre? Employed it in the kitchen?
Well, thanks to your warning, we knew to expect it. So, we set a load of archers outside. I entered with my guard, lured it out, and ambushed it. Is your wizard friend with you? I'd like to thank him personally.
At this point, I'll
He
notice
is-
that Kretash isn't with us.
He currently is not, but we will reunite once we leave this place. So, are you aware if anything was done by the ogre before you got him, or?
I mean, he was cooking something, but I dare not look into an ogre's brew. Something fresh,
Okay.
from the look of it. I'll have a
Um,
search party look around the area to see if anyone from Ocean's Edge is missing.
Yes, please do, and let us know. But yes. So have you detained him, or?
He's very dead.
Okay.
Oh, not just dead, but very dead.
Just I was just curious.
40
No, I'm
arrows
also
to
curious.
40 arrows to the back will do the trick.
Ogre meat
Hmm.
tastes like.
I'm just gonna look at you like, and I'm gonna. And what did you see in the mirror, if I may ask?
You may not. I did not ask what you saw in the mirror, because I assume you looked into it. Did you
I'll
not
tell
look
you
into
mine
it?
if you tell me yours.
Well, I won't tell you mine. Privacy for privacy.
Fair enough. And is the mirror still there?
It has been secured by the guard. And I'll be
At this
doubling
point,
I'll be doubling the
Does that mean
soldiers we send to Ocean's Edge to protect the town and help finish repairs, as well as keep it under strict control.
At
Very
this point, I
well.
will join the party with, well, whoever's with Standing Lord Dormir.
I believe it's everyone except Cassiopeia.
Where am I, by the way?
You are at this. You're kind of, from what I understand, you're just kind of stood at the table that everyone else has now left.
You
That
you
makes
you
sense,
choose
yeah.
wherever you want to be. Wherever
Do I
you
have
wanna
anything
be
at the
this-
table? Like, do I have like
It's
a...
an empty
like a-
table. You have to get your drinks from Dualius. Shadow, who did you kill?
They found me. I don't know how, but they found me.
Sorry about
That's
that.
fine. That's
That's
fine.
why you swapped rooms. Aha. I'm gonna look at the Standing Lord. Does the name Reznolov mean anything to you?
Resnilov.
From time long ago.
Heard the name before, but only as a child. A history class, I think.
If you have the time, I would appreciate if a scribe could be set to do some research into the name. My lord.
For what purpose? I have a lot going on with the war. I would only be able to spare the resource if it was of absolute urgency.
Something in history may be a part of what is happening now, especially in regards to certain artifacts. Artifacts that are being used by person or persons to orchestrate the attacks that have been happening on the Isle.
You
I believe
mean
more
the
information
Goblin
in the
War?
history of this. Exactly. I believe the more information we have on this, the better prepared we are for steps going forwards. I wouldn't normally waste my time with such history, but in this moment it seems relevant.
Mr. These things. The Goblin War. It has been raging for several months now, and ever since I took the standing position, I've been trying to focus on the protection of the people. I don't see King Nasher being the type to use magical trinkets. He's far too dim-witted for the understanding of such
No,
things.
but he's working for someone that is.
He's working for someone? Who would
Yeah.
the Goblin
Yes,
King
that
be
would
working
be-
for?
So there was the Goblin King. There was this weird shadowy assassin that really didn't like how I transformed.
Alright.
And also, as well, there was who was the other one? I don't think we saw the other person, but they were all working with Shadow. Help me with the name again.
Talisman?
Alice.
Talisman.
Talisman.
Talisman, who has an artifact that could have been used to bring Reznolov.
Basically,
And you
they were
have...
plotting together.
And what
They were
Basically,
also
yes.
teamed up with Orc Warlord
That's it,
Okiri.
Orc.
Is that right?
That was it,
Yes.
Orc Warlord. Yes.
I can believe that King Nasher and Warlord Okiri would team together to destroy the human city, but this Talisman you speak of, what proof do you have to show his involvement?
The Apothecary specifically sent me back to before the Badlands were the Badlands with King Droga. I watched the disc itself.
He will
As a
raise
goblin-
a hand to interrupt you. The Apothecary, good sir, there's about 100 of those in this island. You're going to have to be a bit more
Those that,
specific.
those that can be old one day but young the next.
Specifically
White
in
and black
Ocean's Edge.
stars in a circle, specifically based in Ocean's Edge.
And it is at this point Dualius will look up. Are you talking about the gentleman under my employ in Ocean's Edge? The apothecary potion seller?
That would be the one.
I am afraid I did not give him such an order to do so, and he has not been operating in 20 years. He requested that I leave him alone, as he had served his duty and wished to spend the rest of his time helping the people, which I did allow him, as his talents were wasted under my employ.
So do you not think that... Well, one would think that if he's doing his bit to help the people, something that could be of dire need to the Isle itself would be the perfect reason to get involved.
While the apothecary does not have such ability to show you memories of the past.
It's not my memories. I was put into the body. I had free will.
Did you? Or did you
To my
simply
knowledge, I did.
Or did you simply act how the person you saw had acted?
So by saying this, you agree that this is a situation that had happened. Therefore, whether it was the apothecary or not, this is still something that has happened.
I'm not denying that you may have seen a memory. Although, as much as I'm aware of Talisman and what he may be trying to do, I myself am limited as I cannot operate outside of these four walls, and if Dormir requests evidence, that is not something I can provide. I don't give physical treasures, only knowledge.
Well, the long and the short of it is that this experience has happened. It definitely looks like the apothecary that was in Ocean's Edge, that was once old, is now young. I was taken there. They then left me there in the body of someone else. A disc was then thrown at King Droga. An oracle came and took said disc, killing Droga, which caused an explosion, which I believe is what caused that massive explosion 1,000 years ago. If Reznilov is involved for whatever reason, we need to know what they are capable of, or what people would do to go to such extremes.
Mr. Dastings,
Our group saw a meeting between the orcs, the goblins, an assassin, and Talisman. We were there. We battled the assassin once.
And what proof do you have to show of this?
Okay,
I sympathize with you, Mr. Dastings, but we are in martial law. That is why you were tried for being a warlock. I cannot spare the
Yes.
resources on theories and hypocrisies.
I'm not asking for resources, I'm asking for one scribe.
That is a resource. All my scribes are currently trying to decode goblin messages. If there is a squire who has free time, I will recommend that they read up on their history. That is all I can provide in this time.
That's fine.
We're
That's all I wrote. That's all I asked.
Dormir will look to Seelia. I'm sorry?
Yes, well, we are grateful for that. Yes, thought it would be good to mention the meeting which we witnessed, because it was a quite unusual meeting, as you can imagine, since all of those people together, they were talking about summoning forth an elder god, which I know may seem unlikely, and I know it's not exactly your, I don't know, area of interest, but they were talking about summoning Sodakan by causing endless torture and suffering of people. So basically, they were talking about how they staged the whole war.
This is about
in order
Sildarkin, isn't it? We have already dismissed that claim.
Yes.
Cults have been claiming
Dismissed?
to bring back Sildarkin for hundreds of years. They are simply hoaxes and people trying to get themselves
Okay.
recognized. Trying to...
Okay, but even
Can
if
you-
can I just finish?
I'm sorry. No, sorry, my internet's dying. That's all. Sorry.
It's okay. even if it is a false claim, the thing is that they believe that group of people, they believe that if they keep the war going on for long enough, they will inevitably bring him back, which means they are literally okay with sacrificing hundreds, if not thousands, of their own people and your people just in order to potentially prove their theory. They're literally they said they are also giving you, if you've had a victory, they said basically how they have given it to you in hopes of,
And
making you fight the battle more eagerly.
again, what is your proof of this? Any witnesses that can say that they saw this talisman?
Literally all of us
Yes,
were
any
there.
other witnesses that wouldn't be in corroboration?
Okay. Right. This leads into what I was wanting to ask you, Lord Dormir. At the heritage site which you and your men and women went to investigate, was there an oracle woman in a cage at her heritage site? Because when we were there, she was there in a cage.
No.
And
Dying.
There were 7 empty cages. And
No
She wasn't
remains.
no,
Nothing.
a hidden
No.
room behind a painting, but that was
Hmm.
empty, nothing but a throne.
Ah,
Okay.
well, so by that case, then, evidence you would seek would be by any of the other prisoners that we freed from the heritage site. They would have known that there would have been the oracle there,
Yeah.
Bring me evidence.
and then that would then verify.
Bring me
Speak
evidence.
to
in
the
it.
survivors from the heritage site.
Bring them.
Do we know their
I,
names?
I cannot
Description?
I cannot myself go around asking people what they saw a week ago. I'm a crucial target in this war. Bring them
Okay.
to the Heroes Hall, and then I'm willing to discuss it. Until then, until I get evidence, be it witnesses, documents, or otherwise, I have acknowledged your concerns. I will have a squire in their free time look into this Resniloth, as that is a name I recognize. But until then, if you're going to operate, a standing lord could not possibly advise that you do it discreetly so as to not cause harm or discourse during a wartime. And I could not possibly
Absolutely.
recommend that you push this on your own accord without the blessing of a king or standing lord, as that would be very unjust of me to do.
So what should we do or try to get in that case?
I think yeah.
Yeah, I think there's nothing to worry about here. I think this is done. Just be aware, the longer we spend dealing with the situation with our skill sets, more life could be lost than necessary. And with that, I
It's
will
okay.
I will put my hand on I will go to put my hand on the shoulder as in respect, and then turn and walk away.
Dormir will kind of give Celia a wink as he kind of he sees the way you're looking, and it will sort of wink at you. Down the rest of his drink,
I will wink back.
and he will walk out of a door, which will open to him, step through the blue light, and the door will then dissipate.
As soon as the door dissipates, I'm going to turn around and go, we all know that he was recommending we do it, right?
Yes.
Like, we all knew that, yeah. Cool, awesome.
Yes. Yeah. We got this. I was
I will-
absolutely out of out of character, but just when he said that I cannot without the blessing of a king, and I'm just sat here like, yes. We have different types of blessing in this house.
Duelius
Yeah,
will
okay.
sort of give a very weathered sigh.
Yeah, same.
Well,
Now, shall we move on to your business? I'm not seeing Mr. Muldur. I trust he is
Mr.
occupied?
He is actually outside keeping company with our friend Calcifer, because I think Calcifer's not on the list or something like that. And
Not a
yeah,
name I
that's why he
recognize
couldn't
from
join
the
it.
archives, no.
No. May I just ask without this not being my question?
He will look at you as if to say,
You know the rules, and so
Yes.
do I.
Yeah. remember the rules,
Very
dear
well.
Celia. I cannot have favorites. You are lucky that
That's
you
fair.
did not ask me something during that altercation there.
Oh, I had to be very careful on my wording so it didn't come out as a
Yeah,
question.
that is fair. But yeah, hopefully he will join us next time if he finds a way to get Calcifer in or place him somewhere safe.
And what would it be that the four of you would like to drink? I
Just
see.
the water for me, please.
He will also gesture to Cassiopeia, who still stood at the table all by herself.
I will turn back and notice she's still there, so I'll just wave Cassiopeia over.
He will take his golden bejeweled jug
Sure.
and pour a mug of water from the freshest
just like that, right?
from the freshest springs of the Feywilds.
May I have some hot chocolate?
Are you asking me? Or are
No!
you ordering?
Yes, Zephyr.
I
the
will
DM,
have
please
some
give us
hot
the flyers.
chocolate, please!
Right, you need to learn the rules. I'm-
Rise question's gone.
That's
She
your-
asked if she could have
That's
hot
your
chocolate.
one.
Where's
That's-
the one?
That's your like one fuck up for the whole session.
Okay.
Right, we spoke about this earlier.
I'm
Very
polite. I'm
carefully.
polite. I'm just polite.
He'd
Okay.
rather you follow the rules than be polite.
Okay. Pour me a hot chocolate.
I demand it.
And with that,
Please.
he will take the same jug and pour this sort of gold, like sort of this very silky looking brown liquid into a wooden mug. And it will sort of push it over to you, put up a finger, and then he will circle his hands to stir the brew, and surfacing will be 2 floating white marshmallows.
Thank you.
And he will just give you a look as if to say, "You're very lucky." And he will look to Takumi and Cassiopeia.
Cassiopeia will look at Takumi first.
You know, I do kind of like the look and smell of that. I'll have what Seelia's having.
He will sort of circle his fingers around Celia's drink, and it will create this sort of blue halo, which he will then place on the countertop. An identical drink will appear. And
Thank you.
then Lady Cassiopeia.
1 mug of ice, please.
He will go to his jug, shake it a little bit, and you'll hear this little rattling inside the jug, and out will pop 5 quite large, perfectly clear ice cubes into an iron mug as to prevent them from
Ooh.
melting a little bit, and he will slide it over to you.
She'll take 1 ice cube out and begin chewing on it.
An exquisite taste for an exquisite individual.
Thank you.
I must admit, it's the first time I've come to a bar and had water. Specifically
It
holding
is-
my drink with my right hand.
Cassiopeia's having rocks on the rocks.
Also, one of the few times you've come to the bar for a single drink, Mr. Dastings.
Well, maybe he's making healthier choices. I'm just gonna tap him on the back.
I'm just gonna grumble.
Now.
While staring longingly into my cup of water.
Now I know you did not come here for my company, so what questions will I be answering today?
Did we want to discuss this as a group first, or anyone want to just?
Yeah.
Is that a question? No!
I'm
No.
asking the group. I'm
Yeah, like
talking to
a
the group.
Yeah.
That's not a question directed at Dallasman. Dwelly, sorry.
Yeah.
There's a
That
Yeah,
would
lot.
be funny if it was, though.
Am I good to
Let's-
talk with
let's
them
just-
before I talk to you?
Let's discuss it together first, maybe. I
Yeah.
think that might be a good idea. And I'm gonna look
Yeah.
at the group.
I would not go anywhere even if I could.
Okay.
He says that with quite a stern
I don't know what that
face.
means. What?
He says that particular line with a more stern face.
That means he won't be going anywhere. He'll wait for us.
Is that a
While
stern
we-
face as though he's upset about the fact he can't go anywhere else?
How
Insight-
stern is his face? Could I
insight.
check?
Insight check, both of you.
Insight check. Okay.
Wait, I wanna do.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a natural 20 with a 21.
Oh,
And what'd you
9.
get, Cassiopeia?
okay.
9.
You got a 9.
I don't know where my thing
Cat-
is. Wait.
I'll do these
Okay.
two whilst you figure it out. Cassiopeia, you sort of like, he looks like he's displeased. Wah, you see a sadness, but also a comfort, and maybe even a little bit of fear.
Ah, I have found. Wait, give me a sec. Okay, I'm just.
What's
gonna
this guy's
roll it.
name again?
Dualius.
Dualius.
24.
You see very much the same,
Hey!
Seelia. In fact, the expression reminds you almost of yourself from not so long ago. You can imagine looking in a mirror.
If I may default to my passive insight 12 for this, what would I gather?
A displeasure,
Hmm.
but you wouldn't be able to get much more of a read than that.
Okay. Okay. So, what were you all thinking of asking, question-wise?
Well, personally, I don't have a question that I would like to ask. I already know that I want to visit Livian's lookout, so if you need an extra question, feel free to use mine.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And I would like to keep my question to myself, if you do not mind.
Okay. Now that we're back at our table, I will start drinking my drink.
Yeah. And what about you, Takumi? What are you thinking?
Well, first off, I just want to make something clear for all of us. Wa, I believe most of us are aware of the fact that if you hear something, someone else, will hear as well. Are they able to hear us here as well, or are we safe here?
Good question.
That is a good question.
Zeph?
There's no real way of knowing that.
I will say that I think we will be fine.
I'd hope so. Right.
Is there any way we know you're not going to explode on everyone?
I mean,
We can't be certain, can we? So there we go.
We
Life's full of
can be.
mysteries.
That's what I was about to say. I'm not sure if Kretash already spoke to you about this, but if this will only be a problem if I continue to use my power, which I've decided not to, since I haven't used it since, and I don't plan on using it, there won't be an explosion.
Well, I've seen what your power can do.
I didn't choose to take it. But yes, I know it is very destructive and damaging.
That power caused the Badlands.
Yeah, Kretash told me.
speaking of power, choosing and taking and stuff, wow, would we like to maybe ask about how to fix your situation and relationship status with?
That's already
a
being
certain-
dealt with. I already asked a question in regards to that. My question is separate from that.
Wait, did he? Wait, sorry. Can I?
Yes,
Yeah,
the last
yeah,
time I
yeah.
asked
This was asked before.
where I'd be able to, and I was told that I'd be able to find the person that could help on Trinity Isle.
But that was so vague.
Correct.
Well, he asked, would he be able to, and he was told yes, he could.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
person he needs on Trinity Isle. He did not ask
mean-
who can. He just said, is it possible?
Correct.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, that is fair.
Ask the
That is
vague
fair.
questions, get vague answers.
Now,
Yep.
Zephyr,
Yes.
this is just to make sure I have this right, but the person my character was adamant about finding last session, well, the alchemist?
The
Is that right?
alchemist, yes.
Yes.
Not the
right.
artificer.
No, because there is none. None that we've heard of. Yes, there is none that we've heard of so far. So, okay, right. I will turn to Seelia, and I'll answer her question now. So far, and I'm just gonna put this on the open. So far, there's 3 things I'm wondering about right now, and I know
Okay.
which one I want to ask right now because this is the most in front of us
Mhm.
situation. So the 3 things I've been wondering about. One, and I'm not saying this in any order. I'm just talking it up. 1.
By the way, Baronade, can you roll me intelligence real quick?
I can indeed, and I would love to do that for you. You say intelligence?
Yes. Sorry, Shadow. It's something that's dawned on me.
Okay.
There's a dirty 20.
At the mention of Livian's Lookout, you do remember Kretash saying that Crowley witnessed Livian's Lookout being destroyed by kobolds before you entered the paradox.
Mhm.
That is all.
Cassiopeia looks like she remembers this information.
Yeah.
Cassiopeia
what
will
were the
remember
other
this.
things? Takumi?
Right. So 1, and I've thought about how to well phrase these things in case I ever had to ask them. 1, where can I or we find the masked group of hoodlums, the masked group of assassins, fighters, whoever they were that assisted Masato when he was on the run from us after what he did, so that I'd like to know who helped him kill the rest of our friends. 2, what is the way in which I or we can save the people of my city since they're now been taken by
Frozen.
Cryowayne? Yeah. And 3, this is the one which I intend on asking right this visit.
Zephyr, I messaged you by the way.
Yeah, I know. I messaged him back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can the one I want to ask now is, well, the one I'm using my question on now is, we need to get to the alchemist. Is there any way you can help us get to the alchemist as soon as possible? Because as we know, Salreth is on his way to kill them, and if they die, I don't know if I have any way of being free of this. And I don't want to put the rest of you in danger either.
I get that, but I think that he can't really help us. He can only provide us with information. So maybe if you worded like, where exactly can we, or like, what is a way for us to find the alchemist?
Oh, like,
Maybe.
where is the alchemist? Is that? Do you think that would work? Seems the most straightforward way.
Or maybe how do we get to the alchemist the quickest? Maybe. Or
What's the fastest way of getting to the alchemist?
Maybe how do I don't know. Wait. How do we get to the alchemist the quickest might be the way, but I'm not sure, because again, I think that when we exit the tavern, we're going to be placed somewhere maybe nearer than we were before. To the alchemist, hopefully. But yeah, so I'm not sure how helpful that would be. But yeah, I still think that maybe we should, like, now that Cassiopeia has a freed up question, maybe we can, if you are okay with that, maybe you could ask, wait, let me just remember.
Do you remember?
Yes, I'm trying to remember. Maybe we could ask, what are the ways and consequences of separating Wa and you know who? Because I feel like knowing consequences might also be a good thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
If
would you be good with
it,
that?
I can do
if
this.
yeah,
Yeah,
if of course if you're comfortable with that, Cassie.
yeah.
I
And
am.
also, like, please repeat it like the same way. I think the wording is good because that's important. Like, what are the ways and consequences of separating Wa and say his name then, maybe not now.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
You can say his name, it's fine.
Okay. You sure?
Oh, definitely. He can't reach me here, apparently. Either
That's
that or he's
good.
choosing to be specifically ignorant.
How are
Which
you
is very
feeling in
unlikely.
regards?
I feel that I've got the situation under control. If you want to find out more about it, please feel free, but...
Okay. Yeah.
What about you,
We want you
Seelia?
to.
Are you
Um,
decided?
I'm not 100% decided yet. I'm still. I'm still trying to think of like what would be a good question now that we know that Cassiopeia could ask that one, because I was thinking of asking that. And yeah, I wasn't sure if Dastings was gonna be joining us, and I don't know, wanted to help.
Well, he seems to have
But
his mindset already.
yes. So, but who would like to? I will still continue like thinking a little bit while if you all like could ask your questions.
Okay. I'll drink a bit and I'll head up sometime soon.
Okay.
Would you like to head up now?
Not now.
Okay. Who will go first then?
I can
Oh
go
wait,
first.
is he? Okay. Go.
Alright.
Alright.
Cassiopeia, you begin walking up to the bar, and he will greet you with a soft face, his eyes glowing still as they always have.
Cassiopeia will be completely stone-faced. She won't be like giggling as much as I am, but she'll kind of nod as she approaches.
It's a pleasure to see you again, my friend. What is it I have that you would like?
I have a question from the others to ask you.
Not one for yourself?
I don't have a question I would like to ask at this time.
That is a first. But I do not discriminate between questions for oneself and one for others. It has happened sometimes in the past, but more so when someone has messed up their question. Please, do proceed.
Understandable.
Look.
What are the consequences of separating Wa and you know who?
Remember the question was, how do we separate and what
How
are the
to-
consequences?
Sorry,
Yes.
how do we separate? And what are the consequences of separating Wa and you know who?
Strahd.
You can say it.
Say his name, it's fine.
Are you there
Yeah.
with Cassiopeia?
We're in the same place!
I
Oh.
will. Yeah, I'll make it clear that after I see Cassiopeia go, I'll just.
Sorry, you know who and Strahd.
For fuck's sake.
I mean, she got the question.
Ah.
Come on, Malachi's on his way!
He's toilet rolling me!
Oh, that one's going on TikTok. The consequences of separating Wa from...
You know who and you know who else.
Well, separating
I'm no longer
him
clear on
from-
which names I am allowed to utter anymore.
Separating him from the Boros Legion would result in him becoming an Oathbreaker. abandoning the cause for his own gain, be it noble or otherwise. Abandoning and separating himself from Strahd would not only sap him of his power, but anyone else who was involved in the deal. However, it would disconnect Strahd entirely from the material plane. As far as I'm aware, Wa is the only one who has been able to make a deal with Strahd from outside of Barovia. The consequences beyond that are beyond my sight. Anything could happen. It could be that the separation is what Strahd wants. It could be the separation is something he is trying to avoid. There is no way of knowing. My reach does not go to Barovia. He is locked in, and everyone else is locked out.
I see. Thank you.
Bestie, how about the how?
He will bow his head. And he will...
Yeah, not the how.
The initial question was
Oh,
You said everyone gets to fuck up a session. You let Ryle.
Yeah, okay.
Baronade, do you
That's
want to
okay.
include the how? Or do you want to... I'll let you decide.
I was gonna ask to retcon that she would have asked it that way to begin with.
Okay,
if
that's
how
fine.
She would have been asked to ask it.
Oof.
How that would be done.
Ooh, safe.
But the you know who remains in there.
The only ways to break a pact with a legion are to abandon it. To break a pact with Strahd is more difficult. He would either have to kill Strahd, which is impossible from his current standing. Even as someone who has traveled the plains, Barovia is somewhere you must be invited to and brought to. And no doubt if Mr. Dasings wanted to kill Strahd, Strahd would know of this intention. The only other way would be to separate his connection from Strahd entirely. The reason for this connection is alien to us already. I know of an alchemist who I have recommended to him, who has the most knowledge on Barovia and things of this nature. How they would do it is not of my knowledge. I have never met this alchemist myself, despite the amount of times they have tried to get past Terry. They seem to be desperate.
Understood.
And with that, he will wave his right hand and a door will open to your left.
Cassiopeia will begin to walk towards it.
And
Yeah, wait.
You walk towards the door, and as you enter, you are brought back into the void from which you gained entry. And you drift in a comfortable silence as blue star-like glitterings happen all around you. And the door closes behind Cassiopeia. And he gestures for the next individual to come forward.
Well, she's already gone. So were we able to hear that? What he said? The rest of us.
Everyone roll perception who's in the tavern.
Gotta roll perception for fun.
15.
15 as well.
8.
Ooh.
None of you heard it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Kretash, across
Right,
the
I will-
planes, across existence, time and space itself,
I heard nothing. I rolled an
you
11.
hear...
Kretash, I believe this is your favorites.
You hear...
Son of a bitch.
Kretash, across time and space, dimension and planes, you hear an Australian talking to another Australian about toilet paper.
Yeah, funny thing that, yeah. Oh, that little bastard.
And
I gave him this. The little bastard. I could have had all of this facing that way. I'd have seen him coming and everything. But no, I gave him this. The fucking asshole. Oh,
Dualius will gesture for the next individual to come forward as he kind of gets the gist that you all want to do this privately.
As
I
I
will.
said, I'd rather first. I'm
I'll
sorry.
walk up. I'll walk up, leaving enough in my tankard or whatever this is. My drink is in. Enough for one last hearty gulp afterwards, but I will walk up.
As you make it to the bar, the drink appears in front of you. I
Lovely.
wouldn't want it getting lost upon the multitudes of different iterations of this tavern. But
Yeah.
you are here for
Thank you.
business, and business is what I will provide.
Okay, so my question is, what is the quickest way to get to the alchemist that can help me be rid of my condition that involves the corrupted weave?
I might ask you a question before I answer yours. Why do you wish to be rid
Sure.
of it?
How do I wish to be rid of it?
Why?
Why? Oh, okay, sorry. Why? This is something that I've learned can go on to cause great damage to myself and others, and I don't want that. Enough has happened already, and I could not bear to add on to it,
Only if you lose
and
control.
only if I lose control, yes. But there are forces out there that wish to exploit me for this, and I hate the feeling of being exploited
You
any
cannot be.
further.
Can they force you to cast a spell or use your magic? Or is it your
Maybe not
choice and
by-
your control that gives it its power? To answer your question, to find the alchemist, you will have to gain knowledge on their whereabouts, to which I do not know. My patrons have discussed many ongoings amongst the world, one of which being the exile of one Volred the Alchemist from Neela Serena. I presume that would be your best source.
What would be the quickest way of finding it?
Unless you want to trek through the Enchanted Forest for 20 days and 20 nights looking for a sign of his whereabouts.
So they're 20 days away?
It was
They
an
travel?
expression.
Oh,
Would you rather go to Neela Serena and look for clues there, or search the entirety of the Enchanted Forest yourself? Those are your options. And that's all I can
okay.
provide.
Okay. Okay. Making a mental note here.
And
Either
again,
travel in the forest or go to Neela Serena and find clues there.
he will wave his hand, and a blue door will open.
I will walk back to the table for now.
Snap his fingers and the door will close. Once again, he will gesture for the next person.
I'm gonna look at one and say, you go on ahead, I'm still deciding.
After you, I want to wait till you guys are back and safe, and then I will ask my question.
Back
I
in
was going
what?
to stare
Sorry?
back into my drink. I want to make sure you guys get back okay. I will join you once you guys are done. I'm just sitting here enjoying my water, and then I'm just going to look into the water Ideally, looking at my own reflection in the water.
You look at the still surface of the water in the mug, and you see, most prominently, your two glowing eyes and the black veins that surround the orifices on your face. Dualius will stand patiently.
Well, somebody's got to go.
Okay, so you're waiting because you don't want us to be here while you ask?
I'm just going to keep looking into the mug. Not to be rude, but I have completely zoned out. I have other things on my mind at the moment, as my character has other things in mind at the moment, and is not expecting to have any conversation.
I will tap you on the shoulder.
I will grab your arm. Please, I just need some time. Then I'm going to let go and go back to my drink.
Okay.
You can blame Zephyr. Zephyr did this to me.
Okay. Well. Interesting. How did your question go, Takumi?
I asked what would be the quickest way to get to this alchemist, and he told me that either we can try to find clues to their whereabouts in the Enchanted Forest, or try to find clues about them in Neela Serena, the city itself, which we were at for a little bit. I'm not sure where to specifically to start getting these clues, but in one of the two places. He did tell me their name though. Exile of Volred, the alchemist. So we're looking for a
Interesting.
Volred male. Didn't get anything else about their age or other description, but Volred Volred exiled. Either find clues in Neela Serena or Enchanted Forest. That's all I got.
Okay. I'm just gonna sit and sip on my hot chocolate. I still haven't really decided. Question to Zephyr. Can we maybe cut for a second to Barinade and Kretash, because I really gotta use the bathroom.
There's not really much we can do with Barinade, and what Malachi wants to do, it can't really be done until your
That's alright,
guys'
I'll-
return. Unless Malachi...
Why don't we take a quick 5-minute break then?
Okay. I'm happy to take a 5-minute break.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Sounds good.
Alright.
We will go to be right
I
back.
will also BRB.
Chat, I hope you enjoyed the rest of the show. We got about an hour left. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in 5, 4, 3, 2, fuck you editing's effort. Welcome back,
Fuck
ladies and
you?
gentlemen, to Trinity Isle. We're not going to acknowledge what happened in the break at all. We are going to go back to the paradox in which TheMrWa and Takumi are around the table. Cassiopeia has made her leave, as she doesn't really see the point in staying around. So, TheMrWa, Dualius will gesture to you once again, whenever you are ready, to come forth to him with your question.
Okay. So I will decide, I guess, that since Wa earlier said that he can't be reached by Strahd, I will be like, okay, this is fine. In that case, like, it's safer. I'll go first and hope he snaps out of it at some point, because I too can relate to being sent to experience mind fuckery. So I'm gonna go and sit at the bar with my hot chocolate. 2 Dialias.
And at that moment, I snap out. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
I knew it was gonna. Welcome back, Lady Seelia.
Okay. Hello. I do have a question.
And I do have an
that,
answer.
And I'm just gonna look at this man who has like, I now kind of see him a little bit in a different light because I know he knows things about my past and my family and stuff, and I'm just gonna kind of whisper to him, how can I be recognized that as and rule as Queen of Nila Serena?
By taking your claim to the throne. It is yours by right of blood. The blood of the sorcerer line.
I'm gonna need more steps to that because that's not exactly.
There are 1,000 ways to claim a throne. By conquest, by trial, by combat, by birthright, by blood. I cannot show you which path is best for you, only that if you wish to take that throne, much like you will need with Dormir, you will need proof to Nila Serena that you are Queen Celeste.
And how would I do that?
You have already asked your question, my dear.
I think it's included in it though.
You asked how you would
Because
take
it
the
is-
you asked how you would take claim to the throne, and I've told
How
you
can I
that
be
the way to be recognized as queen is to take claim to the throne and showing the people of Nila Serena that you are of the sorcerer's bloodline. So, the question you must now answer, and the work you must now do, is discover how can you prove that you are a sorcerer? How can you prove that magic runs in your veins? How can you bring the power out? That is your mission. That is your quest. Bring out the power within you that your ancestors have gifted you. Much as Takumi has brought out the powers that his ancestors have gifted him.
Okay. I guess that wasn't really too much new information.
And perhaps you've always known the answer you were seeking, and you just needed to hear it. Sometimes the most obvious questions are the ones that are hidden from us. You have asked, I have answered. You have drank, I have enjoyed.
Yes, very well, thank you. And I will go back to the table to Takumi. And
Well, you will hear
yeah,
a
that
voice
was-
in your head. A soft one. Everyone else but you have come to me. You are safe here. I promise.
Zephyr, just remind me. Time flows differently in the paradox, doesn't it?
Yes.
I'm gonna look.
As from
I'm
what
gonna
you can
look-
see around you, it would the best way you could discern, being a plane traveler, being someone who has traveled the planes, it's somehow linked to the astral plane.
Okay. Hearing that, I'm just gonna lift my head up. A tear is gonna roll down my cheek. You guys can go. I'll be with you very shortly. Shortly for you, anyway.
Okay.
Are you gonna be okay?
I'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
I will
Yeah.
take my
Dualius,
last hearty gulp of my hot chocolate.
Dualius will
Swallow.
open a second door so that there is one for Takumi and one for Seelia.
Well, yeah. I'm just gonna go with my thing and wave to her as well, and then leave through the other. Can I leave through the same door as Takumi did?
I haven't left
You
yet,
may
but
certainly try.
you can certainly
What
try.
do you mean?
It's on
I
the
will-
list!
I will look at Celia. Time to be off.
Yeah. He'll
Alright.
he'll come out.
Finish my drink, put it down. I'll look over at Dualius. I'll give a light bow, and I will go through a door.
As you enter the first door, once Takumi has gone through, it will disappear, leaving only the second.
I'm just gonna
You are all leaving at
look
different
into
times.
Alice.
You're all leaving at different
What?
times this time. So these individual doors will make sure that you all arrive at the exact same moment. Cassiopeia
I hear
left.
this as well, don't
Roll perception.
Oh, okay.
I? I mean, this specific bit about doors and leaving.
You will have to still roll perception because it's
Okay.
the same as when you were listening to
Persuade the
Cassiopeia.
door.
Yeah.
Perception.
He's already tried to persuade a door in this campaign.
I'm not doing that
Beat
again.
the shit out of me.
Oof.
That is 18.
Yes, you can hear this.
Okay, I'm gonna slightly smile.
Before, you all left together, so you only needed one door. This time, you've all come to me and left individually. So this way I can make sure you don't all show up at different times in different places. You will all be returned to Calcifer and Kretash at the exact same moment. For him, it will have been a couple of minutes. Until we meet again, Queen Celeste.
I can't
At that
keep a
point,
straight
Wild
face.
wasn't listening. At that point, Wild wasn't listening anymore. Just so you know.
Okay, it's okay. Yeah.
It's because he said that specific line that...
Yeah, that one specific
Yeah.
line my ears pricked up to, and then
Yeah.
I lost interest again.
I'm just gonna hopefully soon, and I'm gonna just leave.
And the door will close behind Seelia.
Yeah. I'll follow shortly in your time. I'll stand up. I'll walk to the bar. I don't want to ask my question just yet, but I'm going to talk hypothetically. If you choose to respond, then by all means, but that is not my question.
Someone has finally figured out the rules.
So, I'm thinking that if I stay in here until I can process what's happened, I'm still going to age, but
Who said that?
I'll still be able to join them.
Hmm.
Well, that then puts the thought into my mind of I can sit here and process everything and still join them. Hopefully better for them, with a better understanding of what to do and how to help them. Do you know, I couldn't imagine being stuck within four walls. Can't even imagine what I'd do with freedom if that was an option provided for me. I'm going to look sternly into the eyes.
As does
The
he
glowing
into
eyes.
yours.
And I know that I'd be willing to try and help someone be free from their chains as I too want to be freed from mine.
I will stop you right there. This tavern is my prison, but it is also my duty. Whilst I am here, both the weaves will remain dormant. One of which is happy to remain so, even if this tavern were not to exist. The other would not. Many people believe that the gods created the weave, but they only discovered it. And now you have
Someone
learned
who
there are
knows an
two.
angel. As someone who knows an angel, I can understand where you're coming from.
Notice two weaves, like two halves of a circle. And you will
Like a black
gesture.
and a white.
You will gesture to the symbol, all on the tavern, on the bar, on his chest.
Oh, for fuck's sake! It's the same symbol, isn't it?
Always been.
That hasn't clicked in my head.
Wait, which symbol? Wait.
Oh, the half black, half white that the apothecary has. Oh my gosh, I've been so dumb all these weeks.
You can tell Malachi has known since day one.
Fuck's sake. In my head, it just didn't click. Well, I didn't join you guys at the Paradox the first time, so I don't think I got told it when I actually joined you guys in here.
No.
Well, I
That's
mean,
the first time I actually
earlier
heard
in
from the layout.
earlier in this session, I did say that the apothecary that I had in my employ in Ocean's Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that bit, but I didn't realise it was the same symbols.
He had that symbol from session 2.
Okay. Oh, well, I wish I knew that at the time.
He will remain silent, but his face will be stern.
It's interesting to meet someone who doesn't want to be freed. Or feels that a replacement can't be found. Quizzical eye.
He will say nothing.
If I go back there without asking a proper question, I'm pretty sure it may cause tension considering the difficulties.
The right question is the question you will ask, as that is the question you deem most important. Cassiopeia did not ask a question for herself, as she did not think it was as important as asking about you.
Then
I have only ever been asked questions that were of utmost importance to the person who asked them, be it for their own safety or the safety of those around them. If they didn't think the question was important, they would not ask it.
well, see, I thought I had a question down because I wanted to know if there was a way that I could have, well, I saw the sadness in your eyes, and it seems that I don't think anyone's really cared about the answers that you may seek. You may be all-knowing in some regards, but you're still confined to these four walls.
I am. And
So-
yet I serve you every day with a smile on my face.
Yeah.
Every day for
I
3
try-
existences.
And if I were to assume that you are content,
I have a duty to my brothers, as you do to yours.
which I suppose the question is, the issue is I have 2 questions I wish to ask. I'm aware that I can only ask one. However, I'm curious. And again, I'm not asking. I'm curious as to what the question you've asked is. Everyone in here asks a question.
Because with every question, I learn a little bit about the person who asks it. What they want, what they desire, what they deem the most important. I get an idea of their life. I no longer have to look at a painting of their life. I can interact with the art. That is the greatest gift a god could ever ask for. A chance to hug the ones they've watched for a trillion years.
I'm going to outstretch my arms for a hug.
I meant that as an expression, Mr.
Oh,
Dastings.
My apologies. I'm still a little bit rattled from insurmountable pain that I've gone through in the last however long it's been since I've been in here. So
That would be a loaded question.
It would be. I'm going to ask my question. But I'd like to ask my question in 2 parts, if I may.
I'm afraid you may not. I cannot have favorites.
That is fine. I would like to know how I can get back in and go back to my old life.
You would like to know that. So ask it to me.
I would like to know how I can get in contact to return to the Boros Legion so I can then hope that they have information regarding Reznilov.
That is not in the form of a question, Mr. Dastings.
So, how would I get in contact with someone in the Boros Legion that would have information regarding to Reznilov? And if this person does not exist, just anyone in the Boros Legion.
Getting into contact with the Boros Legion is one thing, but getting into contact with the Boros Legion to understand who Reznilov is an impossibility. As Reznilov is tied... You have already asked a question. You've already asked a question.
Sorry, I wanted to make sure I worded it right. That was all my apologies.
Reznilov is tied specifically to the history of Trinity Isle and the 3 dragons who protect it. However, to get into contact with the Boros Legion, you would need someone who could communicate between the planes. And an individual like that would be someone of great magic possibility, perhaps even the owner of an arcanum.
The gentleman that took us to Nina Serena.
Mr. Marrington is an owner of a magic shop, not an arcanum.
Yes. Arcanum. Sorry, they are 2 different things.
Perhaps it's good to study geography of the island. Are you going to finish your water? That will be my question.
I am, but I would like to... Obviously, I'm not going to make this drag out any longer. Now I've got all the information I need. But I would like that drink of water to be taken over an exceptionally long time.
Dualius will allow you to stay for 364 days. Or at least your perception of 364 days. At the end of that time, he will come to your side. Thank you for the company, but it's time for you to go.
And thank you for helping me and giving me this safe space.
I am never...
I'll outstretch your hand to shake.
You will shake it. Know this. I'm never here when you want me to be. Only when you need me to. And with that he will wave his hand and a door will open.
and I'll go through the door, looking back, smiling and waving.
And as you do, you will drift through the void once again, the blue sparkling around you, as it has been a year now, just about, until you have seen your companions. And we will return to Kretash the Cold, Kretash Moldua, who sits next to dear Calcifer, who is in a slight meditation, but still aware of those things around him. And Malachi, what would you like to do?
Calcifer,
Who will turn to you?
I have a favor and a question.
He'll tilt his head slightly, and he will put his axe to his side.
I won't ask you to lie for me if you're uncomfortable with it. However, I will ask if you could avoid telling the rest of the party how I became so exhausted. Please.
Borada.
I'll nod to him. And my question... How well do you know this land? And would you be able to direct me to a gate of hell?
He looks like he's actively trying to look for a word.
Dipshit.
Like, you know, he knows what his answer is, but he can't think of a way to express it in common.
If you need to, speak it in Sylvan, and I will have Cassiopeia translate for me later.
He will nod his head. And it is at that very moment you see 4 blue flashes side by side in the middle of the ruined foundation. The sudden flash causes these pixies who had been sort of gathering in the area to suddenly fly off into the sparkling trees of the enchanted forest, or behind a couple roots of moonstone that dot the road. And you will see your 4 companions appearing simultaneously. Seelia, Takumi, Cassiopeia, and Wa, as you do return in this sudden, warm, comforting flash. You are surrounded by what looks to be the ruins of a foundation of a house. You see Calcifer and Kretash sat next to each other. Kretash with a slight bead of sweat upon his upper brow and bags under his eyes, the white of his hair melted ever so slightly to show streaks of black. Welcome back to the material plane, and welcome back to Trinity Isle.
Woohoo!
Whoa. I am just going to go straight for Kretash and like plop next to him. And I'm going to see if I can do like prestidigitate whatever. The thingy to kind of chill the
Prestidigitation.
area. Prestidigitation to kind of like chill the area around us. And I'm just gonna say that was kind of frustrating. And I'm going to like look him like straight at the eye, like this, and I'm gonna kind of like half whisper, do you want to help teach me magic and awaken my dormant ancient bloodline?
Are you doing this subtly? Like, are you
I
doing
mean,
this
the last
so
part I'm gonna like.
Yeah, are you doing that so
whisper.
only he
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
roll stealth
Okay.
against everyone else's passive perception?
What if
Can't
I'm
wait.
actively
Okay.
trying to eavesdrop?
I mean,
If-
isn't he like further away from the like?
No, we
the
just
thing
materialized
though?
in front of him.
You've all just materialized
You
in
guys have
front of
popped
him.
up like right in front of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably
what
about
was it?
5 feet. Roll stealth against everyone else's passive perception. If you want to actively try and listen, roll
Yes.
perception, and if it is lower than your passive, take your passive result.
Okay.
That was low as fuck. That was 11. I think y'all's passive perception.
Oh yeah,
is
I heard
clear.
that. I don't even need to roll.
But it's a whisper. How can you hear a whisper?
Because,
We're
well,
right in
Because
front of
we're
you.
really
standing right
close
next
to
because
the
you
source.
whispered
Well,
it
and
very
that-
badly.
Well, in that case, I didn't properly understand how close we were to, because I thought I
It's
was
fine.
I
It's,
would
it's alright.
like,
Everyone was at
walk
everyone was at the same distance, 5 feet away from. So Kretash is sat on the road. You're in the middle of the where the tavern was, which is on the edge of the road. You've gone to try and whisper, but everyone has heard you.
Mm.
That is the consequence
Well-
of your choice. Everyone heard you ask
Okay.
Kretash if he can help you awaken the sorcerer magic within you. To paraphrase.
I don't know how exactly I worded it though, because I already forgot.
To
Awaken
paraphrase,
my dormant.
awaken the magic
Yes.
within you. But
Most
everybody
people
has
walk
had
up.
that.
Sorry, what's a bloodline?
And what bloodline?
Not relevant right now. However, Cassiopeia, I could use your translating skills. I was just talking to Falsifer. I was asking her for a question. Would you be able to translate his answer for me? And I will turn back to Celia and nod and go
Do my
back to my
best.
conversation.
And if that's the case, I'm then going to beckon to Celia to come speak to me for a minute, away from everybody else.
Before you do
I
that,
will follow.
I would like to do the translation for Cassiopeia. Calcifer will sort of see and understand that you want him to speak to Cassiopeia. He recognizes Cassiopeia. He gets up. His axe is now sort of sheathed to his side, hanging by the little strap. And he will go over to Cassiopeia and say he wanted to find a Hellgate. I remember there was a famous one near the human city. I don't remember exactly where, but I
I was there
remember.
in the human city. I'm sorry.
I don't remember exactly where, but I think I saw it on a map once.
Human city, map ones, gate, got it.
And he will
How
step
are you,
back.
by the way?
It is nice having family again.
I'm glad to hear it. I do not know the feeling. And
You-
she steps away.
He will nod in understanding.
She doesn't mean that as a slight, though. She's just, stupid. Not the greatest with words.
No, he will understand. He will understand.
But she will deliver the message in its entirety to Kretash.
Yes, Kretash will learn that there's a famous Hellgate near Gaidanus, and Calcifer thinks he saw it on a map once, but he can't remember exactly where it was.
I will nod to them both and very, very tiredly walk a few feet away.
Alright, in which case we will go to Wa and Seelia. Seelia, you are beckoned over by Wa, and obviously you've said you want to go over. The two of you are standing at a tree to the side of the road, far enough away that they would not be able to hear you unless you were shouting or speaking in a
Okay.
in a sort of more like, oh yes, here we are, this is what we're doing.
Yes, so just so you know, thank you for speaking to me. A few things. I'll start off by everyone has a tie here to Trinity Isle, and you have a bloodline. And given your race, I'll assume I know what it is, but I'm not going to say it out loud to keep it a secret from everyone else. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. That's not why I called you over here.
Sorry, how would he have an assumption to that?
He
Like,
is-
I
he is-
literally
he is a
just
cat-
imagine-
But he is a character
Yeah,
who's
as a
taken
ca-
the
he is a
information that he knows and is making an
Yes.
assumption. You're free to make
Magic
assumptions.
bloodline. Yeah, magic bloodline linked to Trinity Isle and your race. Knowing what, yeah, It makes sense. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what I assumed, but irrelevant. That's not why it happened. What you do is you. I trust you. I need to thank you for your understanding in the paradox. For you, it was a short while. For me, I was in there a year. So, the reason that Dormir riled me up so much when we wanted to get information was the apothecary put me into the body of... It was a goblin, wasn't it, Zephyr?
Yes, it was a goblin.
Goblin slave in an arena in a time 1,000 years ago. I had to take this disc to King Droga. I threw the disc at his face, which is fine. It then led for my arm to be cut off. Hence why I've been looking at my left arm the whole time. Indescribable to why it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Oracle turned up, took the disc, and Droga died. And Droga had the same power as someone here, not me.
How did he die?
Got stabbed, if I'm correct, impaled.
So he was stabbed in the throat, and then he exploded.
And then there was an explosion. Which is what I'm assuming we're worried is going to happen with our dear friend. I was in insurmountable pain. I felt every inch of my body in that explosion. I've never felt that before, which is why I needed time. So thank you for giving me that time.
I'm sorry you had to go through that. That sounds very traumatic.
I'm sorry. And I'm just going to ask the question, bloodline and whatnot. Like, are you someone famous? Are you fancy?
Not exactly. There's reason to believe I might have like magic, like sorcerer magic, not just like bard magic, you know.
Oh.
But I don't know how to awaken it. And that is what I've been talking to our boy Dualius about.
Well,
So
I'm here if you need anything. Being in more pain than you can endure in a lifetime does that to you. Hand on shoulder, and then turn to walk away.
okay. I'm just gonna stand there for a little bit, like, okay. And yeah, gonna follow after him back to the group in like a few seconds.
All right, Kretash, you said you wanted to go to the side of the road, if I remember rightly. Are you doing anything specific
Yeah.
there, or are you distancing yourself?
Collapsing on the ground and sort of just slumping myself up against a tree.
Okay. Takumi and Cassiopeia, as Warren and Seelia have sort of separated themselves at the moment, you both see Kretash just kind of lean up against a tree, slide down, and give this big exhalation of breath, as though they have been through something rigorous and endured a lot of physical stress.
I will mimic his motions and also slump against the tree in an act of solitude and understanding.
In an act of
Kretash.
solitude?
No, you know what? Cassiopeia.
Solidarity.
Solidarity, that's the word I was thinking of.
Cassiopeia,
Yeah.
roll performance.
Performance.
Watch this be a nat 20.
It was an
Oh,
Like,
roll 20 the receipts
he's
are there.
not wrong. He's not lying. But fuck off.
He does this every time.
Holy moly.
Wait, what?
He's done this like
He rolled a fucking another nat 20. His first roll every time. That little bastard.
Son of a.
Well, to be fair, that's my fourth roll this session.
Not only do you do it, you do it like millisecond. You see what Kretash's movements are, you predict them, and you do it in synchronization.
Oh my god, it's like synchronized diving.
You even match the pitch of his exhalation. It is like, Takumi, if your eyes were
Become what?
Takumi, if your eyes were closed, you'd assume that Kretash had a twin brother.
Oh my god.
What do the three of you want to do now?
What, like, is it up to us to decide if we're fooled by it or if we know what's happening or like?
I mean,
No,
it's
like-
not really a fooling. It's just what happened. This is
Cassie,
just what you've witnessed.
You all right?
I like that I was the one being asked. I would have said a convincing performance on it.
You just literally, you stole the show in the end.
Kretash is gonna die because Cassiopeia copied.
I'm okay. Thank you for asking.
Kretash, roll a death save.
All right.
I
Fuck it,
thought
let's
you do.
go.
I thought you do
Let's
that.
go. Fuck
I thought you would do that. I thought you would do that. Not him. Not
I
us.
failed it.
With what? 2,
Okay.
3,
Right.
not 1.
Back to Takumi and Cassiopeia.
Please tell me when we're back.
Cassiopeia looks to Kretash. What does she see?
You see a tired drow with very baggy eyes.
I will walk over. to
And
Kretash.
unless I am assuming wrong, you still have the crystal in your hand.
Yes, I've still got the crystal. in
So,
my hand. I'm-
Cassiopeia, you will see this star like in your eyes, this star-like crystal shining in his hand.
I don't have a crystal of my own, so I'll hold my candle.
I
The
will.
candle now is an orange, ever glowing, and flickers ever so slightly.
If I hold it near Kretash, does it do anything, or is it just the same?
The flickering slows down.
and my hair begins to melt.
Hmm.
No! Please
Interesting.
tell me when we're back.
I will, don't worry.
He will.
This is a private death scene, okay? Nobody else is allowed here.
Yes,
Okay.
as you
I'll
put it
point the
close,
candle out.
Cassie.
uh,
Cassie.
The flame dulls. It gets closer to Kretash.
it doesn't dull. The flick, like,
Oh.
so you know, like when
It flickers
you
less.
you
It-
move,
it's-
yeah,
Get stronger.
it sort of gets more still, and sort of a bit more straight, and as though it was sat on a balance table.
The dancing of the flame subsides as I bring the candle closer to Kretash's body.
Yes.
Say body. Sorry. You
Hold
just
on
said
to that
body.
fact.
Yeah, it's his body.
I know that's not. Okay, never mind. I'm just. Yeah, continue.
Oh, Cassie, you always know how to.
Well, I didn't even say anything wrong. I think I said everything fine.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You said it fine.
Did I
It's
miss
my
something?
interpretation.
Do you
Do
continue
you want to
to
go over the list of things you've said wrong today?
Cassiopeia, do you continue to hold the candle towards Kretash?
I'll pull it away and pull it back, and then I'll
Okay.
point it out to Takumi
So,
and...
as you point it to Takumi, who is sort of standing opposite from you, it will start flickering a bit quicker.
Quicker than normal, or
Yes.
just
So, like,
okay.
yeah.
Interesting. Kretash, are you okay?
Slower, faster. Yeah, yeah. What's going on, Kretash? You look very unwell when we came back.
Quite alright, just a little worn down.
Can I roll a medicine check on him?
Yeah, sure.
Sweet. Another natural 20.
Ah,
Oh, you should.
In there slapping.
It's a roll
Someone
20!
put,
Cassiopeia,
someone put the dice in water with salt, please.
I mean, if you guys want to have less nat 20s on your team, that's fine by me.
No.
No.
Yes, we just like them where they matter.
Yes.
Hey, the medicine check matters. Performance...
You
okay, fair enough.
look at Kretash and like you sort of look him over and you remember reading about the sort of the health cycle of an elf. You know, you've been raised in studying a lot of nature and medicine and stuff. Kretash is physically exerted, it more than he would have been for the traveling that you've done. Even though he did not go into the paradox, he's done something since you guys left him to put him in this state.
Okay. Do I know what to do to best treat him in this state?
from my medicine check.
The best thing for you to do is find him a safe and secluded place and let him take a rest to recover himself. Like basically, in this situation, the best thing for him to do is to do as little as possible.
Takumi, I think we should leave him be and let him rest.
Is that alright with you, Kretash?
I assure you, I'm completely fine. Just a bit worn down.
We should let him rest. I insist.
Alright. If you need anything, just call for
I'll simply
That's a good
nod.
question, Zephyr.
Mm-hmm.
Cass, and I will walk back.
Yep, what question?
I would.
Because I spent 364 days in the Paradox, I'm assuming that would count as a long rest.
Going into the paradox counts as a long rest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh!
That's very useful to know.
We know this.
That-
I didn't! I've only been in there once!
Of everyone,
basically-
I'm the only one who has
Yeah.
not taken a long
So,
rest.
like, basically, that whatever drink you get, that gives you the equivalent of a long rest.
Oh my god, my ice!
As you two leave Kretash alone, that is when Seelia and Wa will come back to the group.
Can I look at what Kretash is doing? Because now
He's just slumped against the
One-
tree, kind of keeping to himself. Slightly baggy-eyed. The moonstone shard that he cut from the root in his hand.
Cassiopeia will look over at you too. We have to let him rest.
He said he just needs time to rest, and he would like to be left by himself over there for however long he
Okay.
wishes. He is fine. Cassie checked him and everything.
Yes, he's a lot more worn down than expected. I have the feeling that he might have been up to something while we were gone. Some strenuous activity.
Yeah,
That's
that
pretty
part
bad.
not so
Oh.
fine, but still.
I'm just. Oh, I'm gonna say like I'll be right back, and I will go to Kretash and sit next to him. Kind of look at him.
And there she goes. Anyone had a
Suspicious.
feeling that was gonna
Like,
happen?
I'll let
Because
Wa,
I-
Takumi, and Cassiopeia react before I go with you two.
Yeah.
Well,
The
I
YouTube
wanted to go.
Sealy
wanted-
blood?
To be fair,
Look like you're surprised.
I wanted to have a conversation with both you, Takumi, and Kretash. So it makes sense if we're all over in the same place. We can all sit down and have an old chinwag, as it are, a little powwow.
What's a chin wag?
It's where you wag your chin because you're talking, so your chin does the act of moving.
Ah,
Well,
I see.
well, those two over there, I'm over here. Do you need us two together or separate?
Well, I'd
Right.
rather not have to explain stuff twice.
Okay.
What do you think I am, a messenger? I
Are you
rose
not?
through the ranks. I'm no longer a messenger. I haven't been a messenger in many years. I've raised through the ranks in the Legion.
How does one
You know.
become a messenger?
You're a bird. You're already halfway there. Uh,
How do I make up the other half?
Don't take that seriously. It's nothing to worry
You're
about.
saying I'm not even halfway there?
It's you messing with the goblins all over again.
It wasn't even Kretash!
Alright,
It
we're
wasn't
cancelling.
even-
Who are we cancelling? Wow, who are we cancelling next?
It wasn't even Kretash. I mean, you should cancel me because I called
Exactly, it
Yeah.
wasn't even me.
I should be cancelled because I called Celia a dirty half breed in session 3.
That is
Alright.
true. Yeah.
We've got Zephyr as
forgot
well.
about
everything's
that.
cancelled.
You called me a dog and I woofed. Like, what do you expect?
Okay. Well, while they're having that whole conversation,
Yes. Before the
I'm
before the group
Walk
comes
over.
over. Yeah, before the group comes over. Kretash, you've just seen Celia sit down next to you. How do you respond?
How are you?
Was that your response?
You guys are on a
Yes.
time. We only
I
had
asked
very
how
quick-
you were. You sat down next to me. I said, "How are you?"
Oh, I didn't hear that.
What did
I
you
didn't hear that.
hear?
I was gonna say,
I
like,
didn't
what?
I didn't
What
hear
was
anything.
that?
I just heard a sigh because I don't know.
I
Like,
don't know.
I- Okay.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you? And I'm gonna like you said that he's melting again.
No.
Pretty much.
Like basically,
Yeah.
he was sweating, which caused some black streaks in his hair.
Yeah, because the ice in his hair is melting.
No, it's not anymore, but it had been.
It
But
had
like
been.
there was evidence that he had been sweating whilst you were gone.
Up to some devious activities. Um, I'm. And how is he looking now? Like more
Pretty
chilled,
Tired.
not as.
pretty tired. If you
Tired.
want
Just
more,
tired.
you'll have to do a medicine check.
No, it's fine. I'm just gonna like touch his forehead. Is he warm?
I imagine he would be borderline frozen solid, but
I think that's for you to decide, Kretash.
yeah, he'd still be. He would be warmer than normal, but he would still be very cold.
Okay. I will do a little chilling with prestidigitation because I know I've checked you before and you were cold. Like so it's warmer.
Kretash,
I'm gonna say
you get the sensation of almost like a cold, wet rag being put on your forehead.
Kretash have to be dead before we realised he was dead because he'd go from being cold to being cold.
He is a necromancer.
yeah.
And even then, I wouldn't be dead.
I mean, if you class as undead,
I'm-
half the spells don't work on you.
and I'm gonna say the ogre has been taken care of.
Very good. Wait, how do you know that?
We saw the acting. What's it called?
Standing Lord Dormir.
We met up with Standing Lord Dormir in there. He said it's been taken care of.
I see.
What have you been up to? I'm gonna kind of.
Just this magic business takes its toll, especially when you're trying new things.
And
When I do the.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep. No, you first.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Yeah. When I say I want to learn magic, I wasn't referring to that type. Just so we know.
I know.
Okay.
And
I'm aware.
it is at this point that the group comes together.
Well, guys, I learned something very important in my year away.
I'm not even gonna be. Yeah, I know this. What's
Oh
that?
no, you don't even know this bit. I left a little bit out for the group. I'd like to point out there is still that weird suffering look on my face as someone that has gone through great trauma, but not to the point where it's still actively making me phase out.
There is a distant glance in your eye.
I
Right,
discovered
what did you want to tell us?
I discovered something that may help out Kretash, Seelia, and Takumi.
What about Cassiopeia?
It might help out Cassiopeia, but I think we've all got I think us all have problems more prevalent to it.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Did you guys know there are two weaves?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I've known.
Corrupted and non.
Hmm?
Corrupted and non-corrupted.
Yeah.
No. So there are two weaves.
Zeph, would I have known this?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
I am aware of that.
So
I've been told.
wait, Takumi, you've been told as well?
Yeah, Kretash, talk to me about this. Yeah.
What do you mean? This is brand
wait.
new information.
This is brand new information.
Everybody
No, it's not.
stop.
It's not that
Everybody
mean.
stop. No. Takumi, your corruption is still within the one weave. There is
Oh.
a secondary weave.
Okay. All right.
One that
Now,
I myself don't tap into, I don't believe.
Okay.
so is there any way we can learn to tap into this second weave? The reason I ask this is because if Takumi's getting powers from a corrupted weave, maybe
Then
drawing that power from the second weave that is uncorrupted, may
that
be able
won't
to keep.
work.
No? Ah.
It won't?
And I will pull out very carefully and making sure not to touch it myself. I'll pull out this corrupted gem and say, and this is why.
While the color is identical to your vision.
This is a crystal that was not touched by Takumi. This is a crystal that was.
And the one that was is the one that looks like my vision, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
if he were to touch the second weave, he could potentially destroy both weaves. We don't want to do that.
Okay. It was just an idea that might have been a bit of use.
I understand the idea and I appreciate the thought, but unfortunately, no, that's not something I can recommend as a wizard.
So what about then if I was to try and channel it so I can keep my abilities if for whatever reason I have no reason to have them anymore, if you know what I mean?
What?
Malachi, Kretash is putting down what I'm saying.
Is that I don't believe would work either.
Okay.
And Zev, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but because I believe that the source of your power comes from
Yes.
The original.
So
the
so
original
to,
itself, not from yourself.
to clarify Kretash's information, just so no one's misinformed. Basically, so you have the weave, which is where all magic comes from. What Takumi has comes from the corrupted weave. So the second weave war that you've been told about, a portion of it has touched Takumi. So the corrupted weave has touched
Oh, so that is
the
the second wave.
in a way. So it's like an infection. The corrupted weave has infected Takumi, and now anything Takumi touches that is connected to the weave also gets infected. So at least that is the interpretation you've got from him touching the crystal. Whether that's
Yeah.
true or not, we'll need further experimentation.
Okay.
Which I'm not game to do.
So that aside, we had a conversation in the Paradox. All of us. Well, Cassiopeia was stood at the table. But the rest of us, whilst we were talking to Standing Lord Dormir,
Wait.
if
Keep
I
going,
was to say
keep going.
if I was to say some names to you, and let's just say I've seen that discoloration before, and Takumi is aware of why I've seen that discoloration before and why I now fear it. If I was to say King Droga, Resnilov, and Reslanov, will that ring any bells to you, Kretash? And the
Zeph,
explosion that created the Badlands?
King Droga a word, Resniloth will not.
Yeah, but the explosion that created the Badlands would obviously ring
Yeah,
quite loud in my head.
you can make your assumptions whether they be correct or incorrect.
I did have the assumption that the corruption in Takumi's weave was the cause of the Badlands explosion.
And I can confirm that by seeing it and feeling it firsthand.
Well, then that's good to know. That's very, very good information.
We can't let Takumi die, by the way, guys. I know none of us want to die, but if his
yes,
line of fire, jump in front of him.
Well, actually, as it stands now, he's completely fine. If he were to die, he would simply fizzle and dissolve. However, yes, once his power grows and expands, the potential explosion of Takumi living a full life, I've estimated out to about the size of the plains.
Yeah, but
So
that's living a full life and while
that's
using
a
the
full life using the power at its most
max.
capability.
And if I
Is an
don't
explosion the size of the
use it,
planes. So
Ugh, that's all this
realistically,
traverse thing, I like them.
there are pros and cons. Yes, however, if Takumi were to die in the Badlands, realistically, he can't do any more damage than is already there.
Okay.
It's
Um,
look, I despise the weave that he holds. I hate the corruption that he brings. However, there is no denying its power.
okay. And
well,
Seelia, before very very quickly, Dualis, the guy at the bar. I can never pronounce his name.
well, yes.
Yeah,
Dualius.
Joel.
He may be unhappy, but he understands it's his duty being there. So don't worry.
Okay.
Oh God, I don't. I have a theory, and I don't know if I should share it.
Do it.
Do we?
Why? How
I'm
is
gonna like
the
nudge him. If not next to him, I'm gonna like nudge him a little.
how's the guest in your head?
It's a really good question. I haven't spoken to him in over a year.
The presence,
Well, for me, it's been a year.
the presence does feel like it is returned once more. Like since leaving the paradox, that feeling that sort of became a little bit alien to you, that someone else is with you, has returned.
I'm pretty sure we got a visitor.
Ah.
Do we? Do we need Wa to temporarily
The problem
excuse?
is, if I leave and we still go and pursue something, 2 and 2 will still be added together. We know that if I break the deal, Kretash dies.
What?
We did know this.
It had been discussed.
It
Yeah.
has
It
been
has
discussed,
been
yes.
At the same wait, but at the same time, when again, this is out
Well,
of
if
character.
he wants to kill me,
Right, if your
let me at
character wants
least
to,
leave him.
right, if you want
with
to
a
remember
gift.
something that your character should remember, but you as a player do not, you have to roll intelligence.
No. This is not me as a. It's more so like the conversation earlier that Cassiopeia had with Dualius, which I know as a player, but I don't know as a like when she asked about like concept of separating them, which separation does include breaking the bond, doesn't it? And
Yes,
he did
but
not.
he also mentioned that all people tied to it would be affected. That
Yes, and I'm not
includes
talking.
me,
I'm not
and
talking about.
we
Yeah, I'm
actually
not
had a
talking.
different conversation previous in a previous episode about
Yeah,
this.
I've spoken to Kretash about it separately.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with today's session.
Yeah.
Because in my
Yeah,
head,
I know, but also that's why I wanted because like those were our theories, and I wanted to double check,
Yeah.
and that's one of the reasons why I recommended we
Yeah.
ask that question. And he did say a very vague, like people. What was it exactly? Like people who have benefited from it would no longer have that
Everyone involved
power,
in
but
the
that
everyone involved in the deal would be affected by the deal in the opposite way that they were affected by it when it was made. So whatever was given,
Ergo, I was brought back from the brink of death as a part of the deal. I would be sent back to the brink of death.
okay.
yes,
Um,
which so this is kind of why I was very nonchalant about whether you asked about it or not, because I already knew you were looking for we were looking for an alchemist.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, because all the information that Cassiopeia got was the information I got last time.
Yeah, I get that.
if our friend Strahd wishes to kill me again, let me at least bring him with me, and I'm gonna throw the crystal at Wa.
The corrupted one or the
The corrupted
non-corrupted?
crystal. I'm gonna throw the corrupted crystal at Wa.
For me to catch it,
For you to catch it.
I go to catch it.
make a dexterity check.
Me or him?
Him.
Me, ladies and gentlemen. That's a nat 20.
You
Ugh.
catch it and nothing happens.
Ah.
Hmm. Huh. I was expecting more. What if
I like the
Should
Aragorn
I-
reference.
Are you wearing gloves
No, I don't think he was. Was
or
he?
gauntlets?
no?
No.
What if
Nothing.
I give it a little blast? Do you think that'd work? Your choice, Kretash.
Right. Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna-
try channeling your power through it.
So that is exactly what I was going to do. I'm going to try channeling my power through it by using the cantrip light.
You fail.
I love how everyone's
Nothing
going
happens.
for the one that's sweet.
Nothing happens.
Maybe
doesn't
an
even-
Arcana check. Well,
15.
this is not an arcane focus.
What the fuck
Yeah,
is
but
it?
I'm casting light on it.
Well then, all right, it lights up as though you cast a light on a random object.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
It's no longer become a focus due to the corruption. Interesting.
I mean,
I've been worried about touching that thing for this entire time. However, if it's no effect to you,
I'll throw it back to you.
I'm still gonna catch it. I'm still gonna catch it with the cloth.
Make me a dexterity check.
With disadvantage because he's holding a cloth?
No.
No, it's with disadvantage anyway.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I've got a point of exhaustion.
Oh, I forgot!
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, it would have been.
I
but I
knew.
didn't need to. It would have been, but it
If
didn't.
No!
If it's a nat 1, is it just gonna whack me in the head because I'm next
It's a
to him? Please
7.
no.
It's a
It's a-
7.
Like it. You try to catch it, but you just kind of slap it onto the ground and nothing happens.
Slowly pick it up with the glove.
You do so.
Interesting.
I suppose there's one other thing we could do, guys. We could go to him.
Well, that's not something for right now. That is for sure.
No! Oh no, not for now.
Um,
We'll just mull that idea over.
However, I am aware of certain people's wishes to go to certain places, and unfortunately, I'm aware that I also have a place that I wish to go.
Oh.
Where do we think we should be heading next?
Well, I spoke to Dualius and I was given a lead for the alchemist. I was told to look for them, clues for them, either find clues for them in this enchanted forest or find clues to their whereabouts in the city of Neela Serena. As you know, Saureth is on their way to kill this alchemist, and if they die, I lose out on the way of getting rid of this.
Do you have
So
a name for the alchemist?
Yes.
He's forgotten the name.
I was
Volred.
no. I know the
Was
name.
yours?
Volred.
All right. I'm gonna snap my fingers, and Crowley's gonna appear on my shoulder.
Crowley
I'm
will
gonna
do
pet
so,
her.
and they'll sort of
Instinctively.
tilt their head, ignoring Seelia as they are awaiting a command.
I
Crowley.
have never been so happy to see Crowley. Been
Crowley,
here.
go to Neela Serena. Ask around if anybody knows the whereabouts of what was the name?
Volred.
Volred, the alchemist.
Volred, the alchemist. The exiled alchemist.
And
The
Crowley
name,
will
the name
fly
Volred
off.
is familiar to you, Kretash, but Crowley will fly away.
I also need to find an arcanum.
Oh, you motherfucker!
Hmm?
Oh, you motherfucker! Oh, you motherfucker! I forgot I had that. It's been so fucking long. Oh, you motherfucker!
Who is the motherfucker? Please.
Me.
Zephyr's the motherfucker.
Zephyr's
I'm
the
going
father,
to.
apparently.
It's.
It's the dagger, isn't it?
Would you like to inspect the dagger?
I'm going to pull out the dagger and stab it down.
You all see as Kretash pulls out this black dagger
This
and,
moment of realization.
in realization and frustration, be it at his own sort of negligence or a higher power, jams it in between two of the cobbles on the ground. This black dagger with a silver razor blade on either end has the name Volred etched into one side.
Oh my god!
And that's where we'll leave it for tonight.
Yeah, you motherfucker.
Oh my
God.
god.
We knew
He
that was...
stabbed it. He stabbed it, and then what happened?
So he stabbed it into the ground, and the name
you've seen
Volred
that
is
on
on
the
it.
side. On the side of this dagger is the name Volred etched into it.
That was very.
Imagine one of those
cinematic. That
series
was
where
very-
the badass goes, yeah, well, you know where it is, and they slam something down on the table, and then the camera pans to what the name is.
Yes.
That's basically what Malachi's just done in D&D.
Yeah.
Literally just saw it in my brain like that. It
He's
was-
had this
I'm
dagger for 3
so
sessions.
angry.
Well, you
I
can
am
just pop out
so
Crowley.
angry. I completely forgot. Well, no, because I...
He wouldn't have noticed anything if I didn't say it. But like,
Yeah.
the thing is, with his
I'd have-
intelligence,
I
he would
completely forgot, yeah.
he would have said it like he could not have failed that check because it would have been a 5. And I'm pretty sure with his intelligence, the only way he could roll that is a nat 1. And so, like, for the end of the session,
a 1 or a
Realistically-
2. A 1 or a 2 would have failed that
because
check.
because it was so recent, and you've been playing with that dagger like last night.
Literally,
you.
yeah, literally
Like,
last night.
You like,
Yeah.
it's almost impossible for you to fail that check. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was gonna give it to you.
There was that
Fuck.
small moment of distraction, and then, oh my god, I've just remembered.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Trinity Isle.
Holy moly.
Thank
The
god we've got
mindfuckery
this next
continues.
weekend.
Yeah, like, dude, I've been preparing for this session for 2 months.
It's good to be back.
Yep, and we'll be back
Yes,
next
yes.
week as
Oh
well.
man, I didn't even get to... Yeah, okay, yep.
What?
Because I had a set plan for what I was going to do, and then there was that moment of realization, and I got to about here and went, whoop! Right off shoot to what I was going to do.
That's
but
alright. Keep it, because
unbelievable.
there's
I'm
plenty of
going
time
to.
next week.
I'm gonna write a note. I can't
But-
find my pen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Trinity Isle. It's been far too fucking long. And we'll be
So
back
glad.
next week as well. So we'll keep
Well,
the
gave me
ball
inspiration
rolling.
to throw the rock at him.
He does still have
I'm
that
just like, I
inspiration. Also, that inspiration doesn't have like a time where it wears off. You can literally keep that for forever if you want. You keep it till the final boss fight
Oh yeah,
if you
god,
want.
yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot I had inspiration.
It's going on forever. We're never ending.
Yes, please.
We end when we die. In real life.
After.
And Malachi, that advantage, their saves count as saving throws. Just to remind you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
thank you all
That's if I choose to use it.
for joining. How are we all doing?
Doing great. Missed
Doing
this
super
campaign.
great.
Yeah.
I
Look,
missed it so
I'm
much.
feeling a little tired.
Yeah.
So is Cassiopeia. From
I
the
wonder
looks of it.
why.
Oh, fuck off. Stupid bird.
Oh.
Really enjoyed being back. I think obviously we haven't done Trinity Isle in a couple of months. We started on Troubled Times, but we haven't really gotten that far into it. So it's good to be back into a campaign we're all familiar with and has proper tenure as well.
Yep. Absolutely. And
Yeah, definitely.
apart from one weekend at the very beginning of September, because I've been invited to a school, like an old school get together, we basically got this from every weekend from now, apart from one, up until our anniversary on the 25th of September, or 26th. But that
24.
weekend.
Our anniversary.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So
my
we're
God.
going to be here next week, off the next, and then we're here for another 3 weeks.
Yep.
And then we're going to go to alternating weeks again.
Yep.
So-
And but obviously October and the end of September, we know that's when the time zone shift is coming, so it's gonna be hell.
Oh,
But
fuck.
we will work that out with
Oh, yeah.
on after next session. Me and Wire are gonna sit down. We're gonna make a calendar. We're gonna work out when the time shifts are happening, so that we can all be prepared for that. The players don't need to worry. They will just get a question from us saying, "Does this time work for you? Does this work for you? Do we need to do a shorter session? This,
Yeah.
that, and the other." This session's gonna be a
We
bit
will do it
shorter.
in your time zone.
Yes, and
We won't do it in ours. We'll do it in
yeah.
yours.
we are gonna sit
Yeah.
down for a day and just plan D&D for a whole day, basically.
Yes.
Alright, good luck, good luck.
But yeah, and obviously this session's gonna be a little bit shorter because we have to cut out that bit in the middle. But honestly, we've reestablished everyone. Everyone's got their own individual goals. Everyone's got their own individual like ideologies and opinions and theories and assumptions.
Yeah.
I think it's a good stepping stone into coming back. And then next week is when y'all can start making some moves on the chessboard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every character has kind of grown and bonded a little bit over this one session. I think we've all missed it that much that our characters have kind of gone, hey guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, let's be friendly
Cassiopeia,
now.
who's still stood up.
I mean, to be fair, I did throw a rock at you with the specific intent of sabotaging you,
He wanted.
as well as Strahd, but
He tried
I
to
was
throw a
fully
grenade.
aware,
He tried to throw a grenade
which
at
you
you.
must be fully aware, I intentionally grabbed it knowing what to expect.
Mm.
So I was up for it. I was game.
But yes, before we go to a raid and we do the goodbyes for all the casters, anyone have anything happening between now and next session that they want to shout out? Anything at all?
Yeah!
Go for it.
Funnily, well, I have something happening in the future and something happening tomorrow at 6 p.m. BST. I will be taking part in the Peggle Battle Royale, which is a Peggle tournament with a load of Peggle speedrunners and big streamers. So that'll be fun.
Only you could be.
Nice.
Good luck, you better win.
You're the only one
luck,
in our entire group of friends and outer circle that says Peggle Battle Royale, and I'm not doing backflips.
And also as well, Super Mario 64 tournament coming up on the 4th.
Yes!
Yep.
Hype for that.
And me and Wa have had discussions about that. They've all been arranged for a Sunday, so D&D will not be affected by Mario.
Yes,
Thank
I made sure
fuck.
to change it to Sunday, so we can still have this!
Because if I have to go another 2 months without either of those campaigns, I'm going to drive to his fucking house and cut him.
I mean...
A great deal that he won't be able to refuse.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Twitch,
Basically,
don't worry.
we're gonna have sessions like regularly, or Kretash has got some free stuff for his ritual to become a blood hunter.
I think you'll realise going forward, Zephyr, that you've given me power that can give everyone else power without even realising what you've done. But so, don't worry.
I every word I spoke today was spoken very, very specifically. Wa.
I've experienced insurmountable pain and loss of limbs. Do you think I care if it happens again now?
No, but what happens to you has never been how I've tortured you, is it? Let's see how. Let's see how the.
Happen to your buddy Kretash when.
Yeah.
You know,
What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Did you
Oh,
forget?
no.
I've still got the other day's things in the palm of my hand.
My selflessness is what his.
Oh, what was that? What was that tavern keeper? That barmaid's name? Orianne, I think it was.
Orianne.
Orianne, yeah.
The redhead.
Yeah, yeah. To be fair, you've never threatened me. You've always threatened other people.
I wonder who was in that ogre's brew.
A story for next week. But ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go raid Snug because I haven't had the chance to raid Snug in a long fucking time. So we're gonna go raid Snug. But before we do that, we're gonna say goodbye to the cast because they're sexy motherfuckers ain't deserve that. So goodbye and thank you to Takumi Inui, the human fighter played by Shadow312.
That is I. Thank you for joining us. See you soon.
Thanking goodbye to Kretash the Cold, the Dark Elf Wizard, played by Micah _ Gaming.
Goodbye, and before I go, Barinade and I, for those who are in Australia, on the 7th, 8th, and 9th of October?
Something like that. That weekend.
Barinade and I are both going to be at PAX Australia. If you want to come and say hi.
Very nice.
Nice.
Very nice. I would if I could.
That
Bad
shit,
times.
bitch.
But goodbye and thank you to Seelia, the half-sun elf bard, played by the Trinity Isle artist and Princess DelphiniumRai.
Ah. I still get like, yeah. Hi. I mean, bye. Thank you. I got thrown out. Have a lovely evening in life.
Goodbye and thank you to our Dastings, the human paladin warlock, played by TheMrWa.
Been a pleasure to have you all here. Good to be back.
And last but never least, goodbye to Cassiopeia, the Aarakocra druid, played by TheBarinade.
Bye. See you next week. Lots of love.
And goodbye from me, your below average dungeon master, CGN Zephyr. Happy travels.
Was above average. Was
No,
above.
No, not for this
I'll say
session.
you're above again.
Not for this session.
You're above.
Safe travels.